Okay. It looks like we are live. Are we live? Let me check. Sure. Let's say we are. We've got 4 people watching already. This is the greatest. Okay, hold on. Let me get my teacup. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Teacup for One Oscar Movie Marathon. It is the season finale. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. And here we are. So over the past few weeks, we have been getting together on the channel once a week, usually Wednesdays. There was one random Thursday because I had another thing. Doesn't matter. So we have been getting together once a week to talk about different Oscar-nominated films. Most of them have been Best Picture nominees. One of them wasn't, but we discussed it. It was Being the Ricardos. And now here we are tonight. We have assembled some of our amazing guests from the past 6 weeks just to come together and go through the entire list of nominees for the Oscars for this year, 2022. And we are going to be making our official picks for who we think will win, who we want to win. And I'm going to be recording all of it. I've got a ballot. I cannot wait. Okay, let's see who is joining us. It's Martha, everyone. Hello, Martha. Thank you for joining us. So yes, of course, let's just get right to it because we have a lot of categories to discuss. And unlike the Oscars, we are going to be acknowledging all of them live on the air. Now we're going to bring in all of our guests one at a time. Who's it going to be first? Let's see. They don't know. I could see them in the waiting room and they're like, is it me? I don't know. Is it me? Here we go. Look, everyone, it's Ben.
Oh, I didn't expect it was going to be me.
I know. I could
of
tell.
all your wonderful guests, Matt.
Right? No, but we have to start strong, Ben. There we go. Not that, they're all strong, except I wanted to catch you off guard. That was most.
I love it. You succeeded. How are you doing today, my friend? I'm so glad to be part of what you're calling the season finale.
It is the season finale.
These live streams.
I'm so glad we could get you back, Ben. It makes me so happy just to hear all of your wonderful insights. And I feel like out of all our guests, you've probably seen the most of these films. How many of the Best Picture nominees have you seen?
I've seen all the Best Picture nominees. But I haven't seen. There's a lot of categories where I'm missing. I got a lot of blank spaces. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We will. And Ben, tell the 2 people viewing who apparently are my mother, Martha, as well as fan favorite Bob Hunt. I adore you. Thank you.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Martha.
And Anna's here.
Hey, Anna. Anna's my girlfriend.
Aw. I love Anna. I haven't met her.
She's just next door. She's watching. She's watching. Yeah, she's in the same space, but she's watching.
She feels like being rebellious. She can just walk in.
Oh, see, she will. If you crack the door open a little bit for that invitation, she'll fully take it.
I think that would be hilarious. But I think whether it happened now or an hour and 10 minutes from now when I forget that I've said this. But she'd have to just hold the cat.
Right. Oh, yes. Abby, I'm sure will make an appearance soon. Brilliant. Abby the cat.
So Ben, tell us a little bit about you. Who is Ben? What does Ben do?
Well, whenever Matt does a Teacup for One video, he always says, my name is Matt. I have 2 degrees. It's true. And one of those 2 degrees is a degree in film production. And that's where I met Matt. We both were in the film program together. So, we've been good friends for years now.
Yeah.
And, and what else did you want to know? I can't remember.
That's good. We'll circle back. Okay. Thank you, Ben. Always a thrill to have you. Good to see you too. You're staying on screen though. Here we go. Next up, another guest who has graced many Teacup for One live streams. That could be any of them again. I'm really just seeing, because I can see them, you can't. I want to see who looks the least prepared. Right? There we go. Actually, they all look prepared. Doesn't matter. Look, it's Morgan, everyone. Hi, Morgan. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so I don't think Ben and Morgan know each other, but you will soon. So Morgan, tell us, who are you? Who is Morgan? What does Morgan do?
So I'm Morgan from Teaching Disney. I have my own YouTube channel. I'm a 6th grade math and science teacher, and I love all things Disney. And I do pin unboxings and hauls and teaching content and all the great things.
Amazing. And how many of the Best Picture nominations have you seen for this year?
Of the Best Picture nomination?
Yeah.
2.
Which one? Let me guess. West Side Story?
Yes.
Don't Look Up? I feel like everyone saw Don't Look Up at some point.
Am I forgetting? Wait, maybe not. Maybe just West Side Story.
Okay.
Is Tick Tick Boom on there?
No, not for Best Picture. Should have been, but not there.
Should have been.
Yeah,
then no, just one.
Okay, well, you saw the best one, in my opinion. We'll get there, though. All right, bringing in our next guest for this evening. Who's it going to be? It's Jeanette, everyone. It's Tinker J. Hello, Jeanette.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us again. Oh, so excited to have you. Brilliant.
I'm
So,
very excited to be here. I'm stoked for Oscars all the time.
oh, I know. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. So yeah, same
There's
thing.
the
Tell us a little bit about you. All the cats here.
There's
She's
the
back.
cat.
Abby's
We're all
back.
like,
Starting
ooh, a
starting off
kitty.
with such a good note. So yeah, Jeanette, same thing. Tell us a little bit about who you are and tell us how many of the Best Picture nominations have you seen?
Instead of talking about my Disney self, I guess I'll talk about my movie self. So I just, I love most movies. I love good movies, but I also love a lot of schlocky and like campy movies. So like, don't underestimate my ability to totally accept something that's ridiculous. So for Best Picture, I'm gonna pull up my little list here. I think I know who I'm thinking of as my favorite. Out of how many I've seen Dune, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, Power of the Dog, and Don't Look Up. So 5.
5. Yeah, I think I've seen 5. Well, technically I've seen Belfast, but I didn't pay attention because it was boring. We'll talk about that. Brilliant. All right. Next up we have, it's Lisa, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Dressed for the red carpet. Amazing.
I am inspired by the late Joan Rivers. So, yes.
Oh, a
course,
moment
she
of
did the red
silence for
carpet.
Joan.
Yes.
Love it. Lisa, can we talk to be Joan? Tell us about you. Tell us about the Oscars. How many Best Picture nominations have you seen?
Yeah, I'm a theater producer in Toronto, Canada, and I love movies, and I've had a blast coming on. Teacup for One, this little series. It's been so much fun. I've seen 4 of the Best Pictures this year. And it's weird because for the Oscars, I haven't watched it in the last like 5, maybe 7 years.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like excited to get back into it. And it's been a blast watching a bunch of the movies for the acting categories.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I think there were some snubs. I'm sure those will come around. Amazing. All right. And our final guest for this evening, you know him. You love him. A Teacup for One regular. It's Lauren from Castles, Capes, and Clones.
Hello. How are
Lauren,
you?
welcome back. I'm good. How are you? Same thing. Tell us who you are. Tell us how many nominated Best Pictures you've seen this year.
I am Lauren with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. We do unboxings and hauls, pins, box swaps, Disney news, Disney reviews, and more. And I have seen 5 of the nominees. So I'm actually doing pretty well.
You are. Well done. You know, like 11 years ago, that would have been all the Best Picture nominees.
Right?
Yeah, and then things changed. Although I will say, I think the best lineup of Best Picture nominees was the year they opened it up to 10. I can't remember exactly what was there, but I know Up was one of them, which made me happy. I think Avatar was there. Like, that was a good year. That was such a good year. This year's okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Matt,
But-
you know what's funny?
What?
I always watch movies I think are going to get Best Picture, and every year I end up only watching one.
Which one was it this year? West Side?
Yeah, it was West Side Story. Well, I tried to watch 2 others because I knew I was going to be on this, and I couldn't do it. So
Oh my gosh.
I left halfway through 2 of them.
like in an actual theater, or you were at home and turned them off?
No, my mom was watching one, and I couldn't do it anymore. I hate it. Ugh. No.
Which one was it?
Don't Look Up.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all pretty much liked it, I think. But
I know. Where were you like 4 weeks ago? I want someone who hated
we
it.
needed somebody who didn't
do it.
Matt, I would have been right there with Morgan hating on
What?
Don't Look Up. I would have had a great
Where
time
were
with
you?
that.
Oh,
And then
Ben, I didn't know you
also
hated
watched,
it.
the
Well,
other
which one of the 56 hours of it did you like the most?
It's not
That long?
And then
But
the
you
Power-
liked Dune, Ben?
Power of the Dog
I
was
did
the-
like Dune, yeah.
Okay, that
That's okay. Don't Up's not winning any Oscars, so we're safe.
Well, I don't
Oh my
know. It's up
gosh.
for Best Picture, so who knows?
There's so much to discuss. Oh, but before we do, shout out to today's sponsor. It's me and my t-shirt store. Look at this fun t-shirt that I have.
I love that. I'm
Who
gonna
should have been nominated
one of
for
those.
Best Picture?
Oh, it'll be out
Turning
eligible next year.
Red.
yeah, it'll be
Next year.
year.
Because it came out this year. So next year.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
And-
Matt, this is like a prescient T-shirt. That movie just came out like a week or two ago.
I designed this
So
shirt an hour after watching the movie. I had it printed and sent to me within like 5 days. And now
Incredible.
anyone can get it in the link that I have pinned in the chat. It's our sponsor for today. They didn't give us money because it's me, and I'm just pushing my own little side hustle. So there you go. But
You
fun
painted
news.
yourself?
What's that?
Did you paint those yourself?
No, I designed them with the help of licensed clip art.
Oh.
So I took a Toronto, I took a panda, I picked text. Then I was using a clip art program that was like, you can change the colors of everything. So I was like, yes, I can, and I will. Hence this. There we go. I wish I could draw.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Right? Thank you. Thank you. I always feel bad because I'm like, oh, I wish I could draw things and then it would be better. But like limitations sometimes foster great things. But anyway, the reason I'm keeping track of all of our picks for tonight is because whoever gets the most right will get a t-shirt from my t-shirt store.
What?
Oh my gosh, you should have
Fingers
told me
crossed.
this at the beginning.
I must win. I must win.
So there it is. And if there's a tie, maybe both of you will. If everyone is tied, I can't afford that many t-shirts. We'll figure it out. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So yeah, like I said, today we're going to go through the entire list. Some of the categories we're just going to acknowledge. If no one has seen any movies in them, just in the interest of maybe winning a t-shirt, pick the title you like the most. So yeah, here we go. So in true Oscar fashion, we're going to start with some awards that like are more interesting. Or I don't want to degrade any of the categories, even in jest, because the Oscars did that by not allowing half of them to be screened, which is terrible. But we're going to start with acting categories because that's what the Oscars do. And I want to start on a fun high note. So the first one we're going to talk about is Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Our options are, here we go. I might not pronounce these names correctly. I'm sorry. Ciarán Hinds, Belfast. Ciarán, feel like it's an Irish name. Hinds, the guy from Belfast. Troy Kotsur from Coda. Jesse Plemons from Power of the Dog. J.K. Simmons from Being the Ricardos, or Cody Smith-McPhee from Power of the Dog. Now, let's go around first. Let's just say who we're picking. We'll get into the reasons why after, but mostly so I can record it. We're going to start at the bottom right-hand corner. Jeanette, who's your pick?
So my pick is going to be surprising because on our episode about it, I didn't care for the movie very much. But Jesse Plemons in Power of the Dog is my pick for this one.
Nice. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Morgan, who's your pick?
I'm going with Cody Smith. Power
Cody
of the Dog.
Smith. Okay.
That
Ben,
was the
who's
other
your
one I
pick?
half watched.
Yeah.
This is my pick for who I think is going to win.
I mean, it's up to you. You can follow your heart, but again,
I can just follow my heart. It's just whatever's going on the ballot.
The possibility of a T-shirt is on the line. So
it's
whether you want
it's
to
gonna
follow
be
your heart
it's gonna be Troy. It's
Troy?
gonna be
Okay.
Troy from Coda, the dad from Coda. He gave a
nice.
heartwarming performance, and
Very-
the Academy loves it. They love it.
We'll find out soon, won't we? Lauren, how about you?
I'm so glad that Ben said that because I was almost going to start copying Ben's answers. But I am voted for Troy Kotsur just because we'll get into why.
And Lisa, how about you?
Based on my research, Troy from
Okay.
Coda. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going for Troy from Coda. So before we start, I guess
playing too, Matt.
What's that?
That's an unfair advantage.
Well, no, that was my pick beforehand. But also I did the research, and it's because Coda should have been nominated for so many more awards than it was that really anything it can get, I want it to. I really think everyone in that movie, like the 4 leads, should have all been nominated for their respective awards. And truthfully, I think I preferred the brothers' performance, not to take away from Troy's performance, but I thought the brothers' performance was a lot more emotionally resonant, and but I loved watching all of them. They all should win, but he's the only one nominated, so that's my pick. But before we talk about Troy, because most of us voted for him, Morgan, what are your thoughts? Why are you voting for Cody for Power of the Dog? Based on the little bit that you saw.
So, based on the little bit that I saw, he kind of astounded me the most, especially in the trailer, which is why I originally watched it. And then the anxiety got to be too much, so I had to turn it off.
I think he definitely has, especially assuming you watch the first half, I think he's very engaging in those first few scenes without doing much. I think that's the performance the Academy likes. They like to reward performances where the acting is more created by the editor than the actor, but hot take, I said what I said.
He goes up against Benedict Cumberbatch very well. Like he's a very good, he plays off of him very well because I've seen a lot of actors that will play with him, and they like succumb to how big of a star he is.
True. Well said. Well said. Definitely a solid performance. And Jeanette, how about you? Jesse, same movie, Power of the Dog. What made you pick Jesse?
I go into it liking Jesse Plemons, or Faux Damon, as I like to call him. He, I think, is like really the best acting in this movie. I think he's the parts that make me feel like there's any emotion in the movie. And I think that as far as carrying the story along, the actual story, not just his character storyline, but the story, I think he drives it, and I think he involves people in his scenes. Whereas, like, I do feel like, to Morgan's point, maybe not for the same reasons, when Benedict Cumberbatch is on the screen, sometimes he's very solo. He's very like of his own self, and I don't feel like a lot of times I don't feel a lot of connection with other people.
Fun fact, I heard that some of it wasn't filmed, like some of his scenes were filmed by himself.
That
I
makes
believe
total
that.
sense.
That makes sense.
Absolutely believe that.
Because of scheduling conflicts with Doctor Strange.
Ugh, Doctor Strange. He should get nominated for just playing Doctor Strange.
I think that's the one thing that fits him the best.
I agree.
Yeah. In Spider-Man, I like rewatched Spider-Man No Way Home about a day or two after I saw Power of the Dog, and just thought, this is the Benedict I want to give awards to.
Yep.
He's doing stuff.
And why were they only nominated for one thing?
Because it's a superhero movie.
Yeah, that's the exact reason.
Yeah. Because we're no longer in the days where popular movies count as good movies, sadly.
Yeah.
Just like in researching for this and for the game, which we'll get to eventually. Like it's so interesting seeing the types of movies that have been nominated over the years. Like Star Wars New Hope was nominated when it came out in 1977, which shocks me.
Yeah.
Just because like it didn't have the legacy that it has now. It was just a weird, very weird out there sci-fi movie that was fun. They were like, yeah, sure. Nomination. And Alec Guinness was nominated for Obi, which well deserved. But again, the tastes have changed. Anyway, let's talk about Troy, since the majority of us voted for him for Coda.
Well,
Lisa. Sorry, Lisa. Go.
Well, I just want to go talk about the Power of the Dog, because there's 2 actors nominated in this category for it. And for some reason, I think the acting in the Power of the Dog is not what makes the Power of the Dog a good film, which is weird to me. I think it's a story. And
would you tell me what makes it a good film?
I think it's the story. I think the story and the tension and the cleverness at the end. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but spoiler alert. Cody's character is the one who kills Benedict Cumberbatch's character. But it's a mystery this whole time, at the end, and they don't blatantly say it out loud. It's just shot in that way, and you have to have paid attention in the movie to figure that out. And I think it was the direction, the sound, and the writing of it that was most intriguing to me, because the acting from everyone, I was like, meh. Yeah. Anyway, so we can talk about Troy now.
Oh yeah, Lisa, tell us your thoughts on Troy.
I have not seen Coda at all.
So this is strategic?
This is strategic because he won the BAFTA and the SAG. And usually if you win 2 awards, either a Golden Globe, BAFTA, or SAG, historically it's gone to that person for the Oscar. So that's my only reason for this category.
That makes a ton of sense. I do feel like every year, by the time Oscar night comes, you know who's going to win the 4 acting awards, just kind of based on things like that. Some years it's more obvious. This year I think it's for some of the categories it's a little bit of a gray zone, but we'll get to that. So Ben and Lauren, either of you, what are your thoughts on Troy and Coda?
Ben?
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of with Lisa, where I noticed that Troy's got the momentum. He's racking up awards, and if you see Coda, he's definitely a big sort of emotional linchpin of the movie, and I think he gives a really solid performance. I think people would be happy to see him win, and it's and I think the Academy also enjoys a story of kind of a new success in a way. I don't know how long Troy has been acting for, but I know he's this could really make him a name actor.
I think he's been working pretty consistently, but it's been predominantly in deaf theater based productions, as well as What else? He's the guy who created the sign language for The Mandalorian, which I thought was really interesting.
What?
Like, yeah, he's been active, but this is his first thing that's like put him into the public eye.
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
I didn't know it.
Right? I know. That just makes me want him to win even more. He invented a sign language.
Exactly.
Yeah. Lauren, anything to add about Troy?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like I told you earlier, I would not have ever watched this film had I not seen you put that thing up about Joni Mitchell's song. And I was like, oh no, you didn't. You did not say that. And then I was like, okay, fine, I'll watch it. And I watched it, and I loved this film. I was going to vote for Cody at first because actually I kind of disagree with Lisa on the acting on Power of the Dog. I thought that he did a compelling job in trying to keep us confused about who was the actual killer at the end. So I was going to vote for him, but then after seeing this movie and the scene where the dad tells her to sing to him, that's when I was like, oh, I want him to win so badly now. So yeah, that's a big reason why I want him to win.
You know, I think that's a scene that really kind of claimed the nomination for him and maybe the win. For those who haven't seen it, kind of a spoiler alert, but maybe it'll get you to watch the movie if you weren't planning to because it's so good. So the daughter goes through the whole movie being like, I want to sing. Then the family's like, no, you're going to fish with us. And then at the end, he's like, will you sing for me? And then she does. And then he puts his hands on her throat so he can feel the vibrations and so that he can just like be present with her while she's doing the thing that she loves. And like earlier on in the movie, it's established that he listens to like hardcore rap music just so he can feel the vibrations and feel the music. So then it comes around to that at the end, and it's so good. And then the scene that makes me cry, I won't spoil because it's amazing. So yeah, sweet. Okay, actor in supporting role. Let's talk about animated short film. Did anyone see these? Your options are Affairs of the Art, Bestia, Box Ballet, Robin Robin, or The Windshield Wiper. Morgan, did you see one of them? Which one?
The Windshield Wiper.
How was it?
Oh, I thought it was good.
Where'd you see it? How did you see it?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. What is it?
I looked it up and I was like, oh, I saw this.
Is that your pick?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Ben, what do you pick?
I'm gonna do Robin, Matt.
Good choice. That was my pick too, just because I liked the name. And then I looked it up, and there's little birds, and those are always cute. Jeanette.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna vote Robin, and can I say why?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you know how I do felting and I make those little sculptures out of wool?
Yeah.
So that movie is made from that. It's felting.
Ooh.
So
really?
I haven't seen it and it kind of makes me sad, but I do know that about it and I saw it on one of my needle felting group pages.
Oh gosh, that's amazing. It makes me love it even more. Lisa.
I want to go with Robin, but I think I'm going to go with Box Ballet.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen it. The title's interesting to me. And just the title alone makes me want to see it.
Nice. So. It makes me think of Billy Elliot, boxing and ballet. So yeah. Lauren.
I'm going to go with Robin just because everybody else was saying it. But also just because I like that title. Yeah, I didn't see any of these though.
Yeah,
it's
me
very
neither.
Cute looking.
There was a point in my life when I tried to make a point of seeing all the shorts, and then I stopped. That's the end of that story. Okay. Speaking of shorts, live action short film. We have Please Hold, On My Mind, The Long Goodbye, The Dress, and I'm going to mispronounce it. I'm sorry. Ala Kachu. Take it. Yeah, sure. Take and Run. What are we feeling? Lauren, what speaks to you there?
Let's see. I'm gonna go with The Long Goodbye because that sounds like a movie that I'd want to watch.
Yeah, that's actually the one that I picked as well.
Oh, good.
Mostly because
didn't they used to list which country these were from, or do they only do that if it's an international short film?
I think they might only do that for international. Granted, it doesn't say on my ballot for international.
Yeah,
either, so.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought.
Yeah. I think in the actual moment, they might on the broadcast. But I also feel like this is one of those movies that doesn't get airtime, so we'll never know. So there it is. Lisa, what's your
I
pick?
just saw that Riz Ahmed worked on that, and I always vote Asian American, so
Oh, nice.
another
Congrats.
plus for me.
Follow the
Um,
heart.
I think I'm gonna go with the dress.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, for a short film with a title like that, I'm like curious.
My mom agrees. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. A Broadway Disney fan also agrees with Robin, just going back. There we go. Jeanette, have we asked you yet for this one? No. Why that?
No, and I'll go with The Long Goodbye as well, just because
Cool.
that does sound like a nice title, and that name does sound familiar, Riz Ahmed. Why do I know that name? I don't know.
I don't know.
He was in Sound of Metal last year, which was nominated for a few Oscars.
That would be why.
Which was also a movie about a deaf man. So
Mhm.
I don't know if he was nominated for Best Actor, though. He might have been. I can't remember.
I don't know. I did remember that name though, and I do watch the Oscars every year, so that makes sense as to why that sounds familiar.
It's meant to be. So Ben, is that your pick? Who are you going for?
That's my pick. The Long Goodbye. You got the Riz factor, and The Long Goodbye is also the name of a great Robert Altman movie with Elliot Gould. I don't know if anybody's seen The Long Goodbye, but it's
No, is that the short
great.
film that they made us watch at York like 17 times with the painter?
That's I forget what that's called. That's the one with Nick Nolte in it.
Oh, okay.
Man, that's
Nick
the Martin
Nolte.
Scorsese
Yes.
one.
Oh my!
We had to watch that like 50 times. Like
Yeah.
we'd watch it in a class, and then we'd go to the next year, and then the next class they'd be like, "You're gonna watch this short."
It's not
from New
even
York
short.
Stories.
It's 45 minutes.
And we'd seen it like 50 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's the Long Goodbye. I don't know anything about it, but I like the title and I like Riz, and a lot of people in the group are picking it. So I think it's a good consensus pick.
Solid choice. Morgan, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with Please Hold
Ooh,
because it sounds sassy.
it does. See, I went with The Long Goodbye because a long time ago, one of my friends, Ben, you know her, Shannon Fuster. We love Shannon. She went to film school with us. She said that in order for a live action short film to win, it needs to be about life and death. And ever since she pointed that out to me, I've realized that at least all the ones that I've seen that have won are literally about death, like in some kind of a very immediate form. And it's called The Long Goodbye. I don't know if it's about death, but it feels like it's in that camp. So there we go. All right.
Yep.
Documentary short subject. We have Audible, Lead Me Home, The Queen of Basketball, 3 Songs for Benazir, When We Were Bullies. Jeanette, let's start with you.
I literally don't know. When We Were Bullies, because it sounds the most relevant.
That's the one I picked as well. Nice. Okay, Morgan, what are you feeling?
I was gonna go When We Were Bullies
Okay.
as well.
Well, just
Maybe
like
we shall watch
it's
this.
it's a documentary. I feel like that would be the most interesting.
Right?
I would watch a feature like catching up with people who used
What
to
a
be
way to
bullied.
hook you. When
I
we
see it
were
every
bullies.
day.
Like,
I don't need to watch it. I live it.
Okay. You were a bully or you what?
No,
no,
I
she's a
work in
teacher of
school.
middle schoolers.
Oh, right, of course. Of course you
Every middle schooler is a bully,
know.
in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. Lisa, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go with the Queen of Basketball because I love women in sports, and I'm going to assume that it's about women in sports.
Yeah. I also love how with all these
Strong
titles,
assumption.
we can make the assumptions, then it has nothing to do with because back when I was watching short films a lot, I went to, I think it was TIFF. It was probably TIFF. And I saw a short film that enrages me to this day that was made by first-time filmmakers who had never made a film. Not to say that that was why it wasn't great, but the film got financed because they were actors and they had connections, and that on principle really annoyed me because I have never gotten financing and I have a film degree and I've financed my own stuff, but whatever, that's off my soapbox. It was called Meet Me in the Corner. It was called I'm in the Corner by the Bluebells. And the entire movie was about 2 separated like fraternal twins, male and female, meeting for the first time as adults and then like getting into some twincest action. And it had nothing to do with Bluebells or corners. And then at the end there was a Q&A and they said, oh yeah, well when we were writing, we were having a meeting and we were like calling each other on the phone saying, where are you? And then I said, I'm in the Corner by the Bluebells. And we just liked it and thought that would be a good title. And then that just made me so angry.
That's why you
And-
name something a rock band, not a movie.
Right there. So that, yeah. Short films. Ben, what are you feeling?
Well, I should say Audible because one of the producers on it worked in my office building. He lived in Toronto for a while years ago.
Wow, you should say Audible.
So I have a personal connection with Jeff McClane,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna say the Queen of Basketball
Okay.
Yes. Woo!
because who doesn't the Queen of Basketball? Like absolutely.
It could be drag queens who play basketball.
It
That
could-
would probably be more fabulous.
Oh my god, even
Mhm.
better.
Oh my god.
But I do hope that Jeff wins his first Oscar. I think that could be great.
That would be great.
But but put me down for Queen of Basketball because I'm
Got it.
thinking about what the Academy is going for.
Lauren, what do you think the Academy's going for?
I'm also going with the Queen of Basketball, not because other people voted for it, but because Native American director.
Yes.
Nice.
Would love to see him succeed.
Oh, it has a good story. I just looked it up.
It's
Is
gonna
it-
win. It's gonna win. It's gonna win.
At the end of this, I'm going to want to watch all these movies in the next 3 days. And-
I know, right?
I know.
It's
All
about
right,
the woman
let's-
who scored the first basket in Olympic history.
Oh.
Oh, is that what it's about?
A woman who scored the first women's basketball basket in Olympic history.
Oh, I
Nice.
voted for that, but I already have When We're
Now I
Bullies,
want
and
to
it's in
see
ink.
that.
What's done is
Yeah.
done. The other sad thing is that the shorts are so hard to find usually, and it's annoying. Okay, let's jump back to the acting categories and talk about actress in a supporting role. I mean, I don't want to be presumptuous and say that this is the only almost sure thing in all of these categories, but that's how I feel.
We can't jinx it though.
Oh, you're right. We can't jinx it. No. I think there would have been stiffer competition had some other people been nominated in this category in place of some of the people who were. So the people who were nominated are Jessie Buckley from The Lost Daughter, Ariana DeBose from West Side Story, Judi Dench from Belfast, Kirsten Dunst from Power of the Dog, and I'm going to mispronounce the name again. Anjanwe?
Yeah, that looks right.
Does that seem right? Ellis from King Richard.
Yeah.
There we go. Granted, again, the mom from Coda should have been there. Catherine Hunter from Macbeth.
Jennifer
100%
Lawrence.
been there. So many people. I could have replaced all of them minus Ariana. But anyway, yeah, my pick is Ariana DeBose. Lauren, who are you picking?
Oh, you know who.
Yes, I do. There we go.
Ariana all the way. And if she does not win, there's no.
If she doesn't win, why have Oscars?
Yeah, exactly. Why have Oscars?
Although I welcome differing opinions, not to pressure all of you. Lisa, who are you feeling?
Based on my love for her and also the fact that she won the Golden Globe, BAFTA, and SAG, Ariana DeBose. Although I will say I really like Jessie Buckley's performance in The Lost Daughter. I went into the movie being why? And her performance really touched my heart. So
I haven't seen The Lost Daughter. Is that the same one that Olivia?
Yeah,
Colman's
Olivia
nominated for?
yeah.
Oh, nice.
They play the same character in the movie, but Jessie
Oh.
Buckley plays the younger version of her, and she's phenomenal in it. Yeah, I'm glad you called her out, Lisa. That's great.
Yeah, because I know I'm sure she's not gonna win because Ariana was fabulous and definitely deserves it. But an honorable mention to Jessie Buckley.
Nice. Now I need to see this movie too. Ben, who's your pick?
I'm not sure if you said Ben or not.
I
I'm
said
so
Ben.
sorry.
Yeah, I said you.
I'm having some lag issues on my end of the stream, so I apologize if I seem if I just start staring like this and not responding. That's why. So thank you for your patience. But Ariana all the way. She's gonna win it, no question. It's in the bag. Lock it in.
Locked. Morgan.
Ariana.
Okay. Jeanette.
I'm in a predicament of I know who I definitely don't want to win. It's Kirsten Dunst. And I haven't seen any of the other movies, so just out of my love for all of you beautiful people, Ariana DeBose.
Yeah.
You haven't seen West Side Story?
I didn't like I tried to watch the original a few times. It's just too right up the middle musical. It's I'm a musical, and that's about it.
It reinvents it though. It reinvents it.
I might give it a
It's
try
so
one
good.
day.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
so
musicals
good.
too.
Oh my God.
So it's like, but it's just too musical. I'm like,
Well, yeah, when you get past that, but
Yeah.
I
It
love
is a
musicals,
Disney
so it
film.
should be an easy sell, but for some reason, no. But yes, I will eat it up right now. Let's take it.
And the chat agrees. Broadway Disney fan 3 times Ariana DeBose. Martha
yep.
knows. There we go. That's basically the free space. Let's be honest. There we go.
Yeah.
That's it.
The free
It
space
has
on the
to
bingo
win.
card.
That's all
Yeah.
win.
And we discussed her for like half an hour last week. Does anyone have anything to say about Ariana that hasn't been said?
No, she's just phenomenal.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just assuming she does win, even if she doesn't, just for a film debut to get the well-deserved attention that she has gotten, it gives me faith in the industry.
Mhm.
So yes. Morgan has her hand up.
Yes, I do. So I actually, after our chat last week about West Side Story, I looked into it, like that scene we talked about a little bit more. And turns out she was actually sexually assaulted on a set when she was younger.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
She must have been
that was
really hard
like,
for
when
her.
I found that out, it was even more intense. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Still stands that they didn't need the scene in the movie, especially
Well,
since
yes,
Steven Spielberg wanted to get rid of I Am Pretty. He could have gotten rid of that.
Wait,
So.
he wanted to get rid of I Feel Pretty?
Yeah, there's like a
No!
whole
Didn't know
article
that.
of like how he actually just didn't think it made sense for an immigrant to be saying all of these like high language things about her feeling so good about herself. And he then, like, after consultation with like his producers, he was very much like, okay,
And his
well,
PR people.
yeah, they were like, let's just put it in a different spot. But I was like,
Interesting.
okay, you spent a lot of time thinking about getting rid of a female lead's song, but you didn't think about getting rid of the assault scene on a black woman. Like, I don't know. I've already said my thoughts on this.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah.
Spielberg.
if he had
Spielberg.
gotten rid of that, I would shut the movie off right then and there.
Like my retort to that is, if his issue was with the language, there's a Spanish language version that Lin-Manuel translated for the revival like 10 years ago. And if it was that big of a concern for him, he should have used that. But I feel like Bernstein's family stopped it because from my understanding, they made a lot of decisions not happen in this movie. So for better or worse, and there it is. Yeah. Oh, Mary's here. They reinvent West Side Story just the right amount, in my opinion. But I encourage everyone to see it. My favorite film of a very long time. So yeah, love West Side. Oh, okay. Next, we've done actress, international feature film. Here we go. We have Drive My Car, Flee, The Hand of God, Lonina, a yak in the classroom. That sounds like fun. And the worst person in the world. Yes. Okay. Now, I will say, if this affects anyone, reminder, Drive My Car is also nominated for Best Picture.
I was going to say, isn't Drive My Car nominated for Best Picture?
Yeah.
I mean, can't we all see what they're going to do there? They're going to give it to it in this category and not in regular Best Picture. I mean, that's quite obvious, yes?
Lisa has something to say, I can tell.
But didn't Parasite fall into this category and win both of them that one year?
True.
Like, I remember,
that sounds right.
Parasite got the international film and the Best Picture.
Yeah,
because it did.
Good.
There was more buzz though, around Parasite.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was Japanese though. I might actually watch it now. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that interests me, so I might watch it.
So, then Jeanette, or no, Ben, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say that it is a fascinating like inclusion in the Best Picture race, because something like Parasite was a huge like festival hit, and then it was a critical hit, and then it was a box office hit, and then it was like an awards hit. Like it checked all of the boxes, and it was this like kind of like this phenomenon. And when you watch Parasite, you're like, oh, this makes total sense in a way, because there's not really a movie quite like it, and it keeps like taking you by surprise. Whereas Drive My Car being included, I mean, Drive My Car, if you haven't seen it, is a fantastic movie, but it's also like this 3-hour meditation on grief, and it's this like very quiet, very understated drama. I think that you guys might like it though if you're into theater. There's a lot of Uncle Vanya stuff woven in through it. But it's kind of heartening to see it nominated because it's showing the Academy recognizing, you know, international cinema as being like it's continuing the Parasite train, but with like a very different movie that I don't think is as much of like this kind of like crowd pleasing, like sort of like exciting thrill ride, you know? So I was glad to see it, but it's called Drive My Car, and
it's not a thrill ride.
It's not a thrill ride. It's a very chill ride down a nice country road. But to Jeanette's point, it would be fascinating for it to lose international feature if it's the only international feature nominated for Best Picture.
That's where my head's at.
Yeah, it like they could hypothetically not give it to it, but then you'd be like, well, why didn't you nominate, you know, this other like worst person in the world or any of these? And then so yeah, it's an interesting kind of like little conundrum if they don't give it to it. It would be really fascinating.
But everyone wants to know if it's about the Beatles.
Nothing Beatles related, but yeah.
Well, going to the chat, let's see. First Broadway Disney fan picked Flea, but then went back and picked Drive My Car. So yeah, and Flea, I just noticed this is nominated also for Best Documentary Feature. I know nothing about Flea, but I'm now guessing it's a documentary and an international film. You've sparked my interest. Yeah. So then, Ben,
and it's animated too.
What?
Flea is an animated documentary, best nominated. It's nominated for Best Documentary Feature, and it's got animation in it.
It is. It's nominated for Best Animated Feature too.
Yeah, it's an animated documentary. I haven't seen Flea, but it's. I did see the director's previous movie because Matt, our mutual friend Jeff, made Jeff Zablotny from York made a hot doc short film that was attached to a movie called Searching for Bill, which was a feature that the director from Flea made. And it was a documentary, and at the end you kind of find out it was all like faked. And then the director came out to do a Q&A, and he was like, "What is real?" And everybody was like, "Boo." But I've heard Flea is really good, and you know, I wish I knew more about it. But yeah.
My mind is blown just now realizing that it seems to be everything. Like it's a documentary and an international film and also an animated film. It probably stars Ariana DeBose. So there it is. Yeah. All right. So is anyone not picking Drive My Car for your pick for international?
I'll Drive My Car.
Drive My Car has gotten the Golden Globe and the BAFTA. It has to get this one.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is the first year in like I don't know, at least 5 years I haven't watched the Golden Globe. I didn't watch the Golden Globes. And then when I didn't, I was like, I'm not going to look because now it's a big surprise.
You couldn't if you wanted to, Jeanette, because the Golden Globes are now like they've kind of fallen apart. Like the Hollywood Foreign Press is under a lot of scrutiny, and then NBC was like, we're not going to broadcast them. So all the results of the Golden Globes were just tweeted out. And so that's why like
it was a very underwhelming night.
It was the most underwhelming possible night.
I love all this.
And
I love all this shit.
West Side Story, I think, won best like comedy musical, and like whoever was writing the tweets like said something about it being like full of laughs or something, and then Rachel Zegler was like, "What? Like, what are we talking about?" Because they got like they didn't know what West Side Story was. Whoever was tweeting it, but yeah, everybody's like mad at the Globes. They might not. I think in the next couple of years they might not even be a thing anymore. We'll see.
Wow.
I mean, they've always been on my list because they classify comedy and musical together. And no, musicals are either comedies or dramas. Musicals are, you're not like doing comedy or musical and drama or Western.
Right.
The Greeks knew you have two choices. You pick one and then have a subgenre within it.
At least they have a category. Horror movies don't even get a crack at it.
Oh, no. Get Out got some. You know, love.
Yeah.
That was probably the closest we've had in the last ever of a horror movie.
I missed the Globes having a televised ceremony though, because I liked the vibe in the room. It's like the Oscars, but a little drunker, like a little wilder. It's got kind of a rowdier vibe to it, and I like that.
Yeah, no, just like it's the fun pre-drinking award show, essentially. Yeah.
Exactly.
Fun. All right, so you know what? Let's follow the Flea train here, and let's go to documentary feature. Our options here are Ascension, Attica, Flea, Summer of Soul in brackets, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Or Writing with Fire. I picked Attica without reading the titles of the other ones or even looking into them, just because I was like, that sounds like something that would win. But now I feel like I want to know what Summer of Soul is about. But I locked in my pick, so it's too late. Has anyone seen any of these movies?
I have.
Which one?
I've seen Summer of Soul.
How was it?
It's
What
on
is it?
Hulu, it's on Hulu and Disney Plus.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's actually very good. Yeah, it's done by Questlove, and it's just
I
about
did hear about this.
yeah, I think it's really well done. I mean, I haven't seen the others, but as soon as I saw that there, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to totally vote for that. That's so weird that I saw a documentary feature.
That's how I feel when I see documentaries.
It's hard for me to get documentary features to watch in advance. So that's what I meant. Not that I would never watch a documentary feature.
Oh, I love documentaries that are well made and keep my interest. Those are hard to find.
What's the difference? I'm so confused. What's the difference?
Between what?
Between what?
What's a documentary feature? What's the difference between a documentary feature and a documentary short subject?
I think it's the length.
It's just short film versus regular length film.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so documentary features probably, I'm not sure what they classify it as, but I would guess like 70 plus minutes. And then short would probably have to be less than 45 because there's this stupid gray zone that's in between that doesn't qualify for any awards or film festivals, which like my Scrooge web series fell into. It's very sad, but not to make it all about me. Yeah. Okay, so Lauren, you've picked Summer of Soul. Lisa, what are you feeling for documentary feature?
I love Questlove, and it won the BAFTA, so Summer of Soul as well.
Nice. Jeanette.
I am going to say Summer of Soul as well. Although I realized a couple of years ago when the Fire Festival documentary didn't get nominated that this category may never make sense to me. So
agreed. Wait, there were two. Which Fire Fest?
Just the one that said fire. It was just said fire, and there's the girl's
on
blood
Netflix.
on the screen. Yeah.
The one with the guy who went to get the bottles of water, and that was
and the guy who, if you watched Inventing Anna, they were they lived together for.
Yes. Yeah, the guy. She knew,
which all makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Not
still need
movie,
to watch that.
TV.
Now, once the Oscars wrap up, that's on my list of things to watch alongside. There's some show with Hilary Duff that's not How I Met Your Father that someone told me I need to watch.
It is How I Met Your Father.
It is How I Met.
Oh no! I'm watching that religiously. I love that show. No, there's another one that she did before
Younger.
that. Younger. That's it. I've been told I need to watch Younger because I love Hilary Duff. Yeah.
I prefer her and Lizzie McGuire personally.
Oh well, nothing will beat Lizzie McGuire. I'm still angry we didn't get the grown-up Lizzie McGuire.
I know, me too.
Disney wouldn't collaborate, and I respect her for sticking to the integrity of Lizzie. So there it is. Morgan, what do you want to see win for documentary feature?
I'm going with Summer of Soul. I feel like Disney, if it's released on Disney Plus, it's probably good.
Yeah, well said. Well, it's other stuff on Disney Plus. So. There it is. Ben, how about you?
Summer of Soul. Summer of Soul. You know, the Academy loves a good music documentary. And I haven't seen this one yet. It's weird. A lot of years I've made it my mission to watch as many of those feature documentaries as I can. And this year I missed all of them. But everything I've heard about Summer of Soul is that it's very much worth your time and is really, really cool to see as a document of history. So I think it has a really good shot.
I really want to see it now. And it's on Disney Plus. That's one thing that is really nice. Well, there's a lot of great stuff about Disney Plus, but it's made movies accessible that otherwise would be harder to see. I remember last year, I think Nomadland. Is that what won?
Yeah.
I was just there. I didn't watch it, but I had the option to, and that made me very happy. Okay, so Summer of Soul, we're in the music land now. Let's talk about what we think will win for Best Original Song. Oh, I didn't lock in my choice for this. Hold on. Done. That's probably wrong, but there we go. So our options for Best Original Song for this year are Be Alive from King Richard, the song from Encanto, Dos, I don't want to mispronounce it, the sad one, the sad, beautiful. That's it. There you go. Down to Joy from Belfast, No Time to Die from No Time to Die, or Somehow You Do from 4 Good Days. Is No Time to Die the Bond movie?
Yes.
I picked that because Bond songs usually win.
And it's Billie Eilish and her brother, so.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
did Billie Eilish write the Turning Red songs as well?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
What?
You know what's up.
The music of Four Town.
Four Town.
That makes so much sense.
Oh yeah, she just did Four
want
Town.
it?
You're right. She just did the boy band.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Okay, so Lauren, what's your pick for Best Original Song?
Dos Oruguitas. I think that it's going to win. I just think that the music to Encanto has just been all over the place. And
It's #1 on Instagram for
seven
weeks in a row now.
Yeah, and I respect that that's the song they picked to push for, as opposed to we don't talk about Bruno. Which we're still getting a live performance of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. But it reminds me of the year Coco was nominated, and like I was just so behind Remember Me winning over that song that I dislike from this circus movie that's overrated. This Is Me.
The Greatest Showman. Yeah.
And it's a whole other conversation, but I feel like this might be a similar thing. Even though I voted for the Bond song, I could see this kind of going in that direction too. But Lisa, what do you think? What's your pick?
Yeah, I mean, like, No Time to Die won the Golden Globe, and historically Bond movies win this one. Like Adele won hers.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Even though, like, I would want We Don't Talk About Bruno, that song, to have been nominated. This is so much fun.
But we still get the performance, so that's good.
Yeah, as long as we get the performance on Sunday, that's fine.
Yeah. 7-foot frame wraps around his back when he. Jeanette, what's your pick?
I'm gonna go with Bond too, just because I do think they took a misstep in not nominating the song that everybody in America is singing. So.
Yeah, well, my feelings towards the Bruno song I don't want to say it's the same as This Is Me because I actively disliked This Is Me, but I think We Don't Talk About Bruno is more popular than it is good, which might be a controversial statement. But it's popular for all the reasons a song should be popular. It's a bop, as the kids say. But when I'm picking things that I want to win or think should win, I think it's whatever serves the movie and story best, which actually I guess Bruno does. I don't know, just Bruno's fine. Whatever. That's where I stand on that. Morgan, what's your pick?
Dos Oruguitas. Oh, someone at school told me how to say it, and I forgot now. I tried.
No, and I'll say this: when I watched Encanto, once it hit Disney Plus with closed captioning, I didn't realize the closed captioning was going to translate all of the Spanish for me. And once I saw the lyrics to that song, they're so beautiful. The lyrics to that song are gorgeous.
Is that the song that's like "I'm Mariposa"? Is that the song?
Yeah,
that one. I do love that song.
I think it's the song when we see the flashback to the dad being killed and like that backstory.
It's at the end. It's not at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm thinking of the right song.
Yeah. No, like it's hinted to. There's like that musical theme is in the Madrigal song when Abuela is singing, where she's like, "We swear to always around us." Yeah, it took me a lot of repeat listenings to connect those dots, but that's something I love about musical theater, and it made me happy. Ben, what's your pick?
So I haven't seen Encanto yet. I know it's like kind of a sensation, and we have a lot of Disney people in the room tonight. And so I've heard about this Bruno song, and what I want to know is like I haven't seen Encanto, but I've seen Luca, and in Luca they're like Bruno, like no Bruno.
It's not the same Bruno, and it's so sad.
What is like
did that?
Bruno?
Can anyone explain to me like what's going on? Like is there a guy like harassing like employees at Disney like named Bruno and Pixar?
there is talk that there's a big disagreement between Pixar and Walt Disney Studios. Walt Disney Studios put out Encanto.
Yeah.
And Pixar
and
put
Pixar
out
did Luca, right?
Luca.
Yeah.
And Luca and Pixar's latest Turning Red both did not go to theaters, whereas Encanto did.
Oh,
Yeah.
Disney has their
That's
favorites. They know what they're doing.
Well,
And the oversight with the Bruno name is a little crazy.
It's
apparently, the character of Bruno was supposed to be, I think, named Jorge, and Lin-Manuel Miranda is like, no, let's change it to something like Bruno, because so that I can say Bruno, no.
But that could have been. We don't talk about
okay.
Jorge. Hey. It could have been that.
No, see, Matt. They just needed Matt in the meeting, you know?
in the room.
But is Bruno a Hispanic name?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's an Italian
Yeah.
name.
Well, it's
Well,
at
Brew
least
and
Italian
No-
enough to be in Luca.
Yeah, brew and no are common, like,
I mean, Spanish
syllables in a lot of
Italian.
languages.
Yeah, Spanish and Italian are Latin-based
They're very
languages.
similar.
So.
Yeah.
I just think it's fascinating. Like I got to see Encanto so I know the context, but
It's 2
and
hours
also-
of
and
introducing
Disney-
people and singing about them.
this is a tangent, but Disney should be putting out these Pixar movies theatrically. Like
Oh,
Turning
yeah.
Red, 100% absolutely should have played in the theater.
100%.
And I feel bad for the people working at Pixar because they're making these great movies, and they should be seen with an audience. Anyway,
And they're
Good.
being forced to relocate.
is that true too? Wait, are they still
course
going to be?
Burbank?
They're not. Are they
They're
going to be in
making
that part of
entire
California they're in?
The entire California Imagineering has to relocate to Florida.
I knew about
Oh,
Imagineering,
wow.
but Pixar's going with them.
Yeah, Imagineering, but not Pixar.
I think well, Imagineering falls under Pixar as well.
No,
No?
Imagineering is its own department.
I wanna like give a shout out to Broadway Disney fan who's saying give Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh yes.
God.
Yeah, I know. That's why I want him to win. That's why I wanted to win.
Like,
Give him what you got.
I want
But
him
some
to
of the people
EGOT, but I
that
don't
work
want
in
it to be for
Imagineering
Encanto.
Also work for Pixar.
The what?
Like-
Some of the people that work in Imagineering also work for Pixar.
I mean, I'm choosing to believe Lauren only because I want to believe it's not true, but also the cynical side of me, knowing how Disney operates, is more inclined to believe Morgan. So who knows? I'll look
I
into
heard that
it.
they're eventually going to move all operations to Florida.
Ugh.
That's what.
Wow.
That's what the tone.
No,
in the-
they'll never close Burbank. They'll
Oh,
never.
true. Walt's
I don't know
legacy.
if they'll close it, but I think they're going to move like the main base of operations to Florida eventually.
I'm going to pick the No Time to Die song, Matt. By the way, for
Oh,
my ballot.
I was about to circle back to that and be like, so Ben, what's your song?
I meant sorry.
Then you started to talk about Bruno. I was like, is that
I took
it?
us on a tangent, but yeah. I meant to answer your question, and my answer, like we've talked about, Bond movies tend to do pretty well when it comes to best original song. I don't think it's like close to being the best Bond theme, but it's fine. It has a shot. And if it doesn't win, I think that Encanto song has a really good chance, even though I haven't heard it.
I'm glad my disdain for Encanto brings joy.
Oh, Mary.
Yeah, I did a video about it. I don't need to get into it. But yeah, 2 hours of introducing people and singing about them and then tie up the story in like 5 seconds. Why not? Years of generational trauma just washed away, blown out like the candle that Mirabelle should have blown out in the beginning of the movie because of how terrible her family was. There it is. Original score. Here we go. Because Encanto's in there. So original score, we have Don't Look Up, Dune, Encanto, Parallel Mothers, and Power of the Dog. What are we
I'll go.
feeling? Yes.
So I want to say Encanto.
Mhm.
I feel like it's Encanto. I'm torn between that and Dune, but not only because Dune is Hans Zimmer, but Dune, the music does drive the movie quite a bit. If you didn't have music in that movie, certain parts, I don't know what you would do, but I am going to go with Encanto.
Broadway Disney fan is feeling Dune.
Yeah.
There we go.
But I'm going to go with Encanto.
I also went for Encanto just because
Yeah.
I think it's one of those situations kind of like we see with Best Picture and Best Director. When you don't get one, you get the other. And I don't think it'll get original song, which is why I went for score for Encanto. But yeah. Lisa, what are you feeling for score?
Like Hans Zimmer has so many Oscars.
Yeah.
And like he won the Golden Globe and BAFTA for this one. So like I don't want to say Dune. And I'm gonna go with the one I want to win because I was really taken with, which is The Power of the Dog. I really liked what they did. I felt
Really?
this story very well.
Oh, Lauren, how about you?
And the only one I don't want to win is Power of the Dog.
Lord, why?
I don't know why.
Lauren, how could you?
Before irritated me so much. I don't know why.
But seriously, that's hilarious. I loved it. I was like, this might be the only good part of the movie.
You know what? I think I have a hard time with like desolate, like depressing score, and so that's probably my bias toward it.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm voting for Encanto. Although Dune, I think Hans Zimmer. I mean, he's a perennial favorite, but I think that he's won so much stuff. I mean,
Fair. He's like the Meryl Streep.
yeah, he's a Meryl.
Meryl Streep deserves all the awards.
Oh, she does. She does. I think she has the record for most losses, though.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she doesn't. John
No?
Williams does.
For female actor.
Oh, yeah. Like, I think maybe even just for actor overall, Meryl has the record for most losses, hence and also nominations.
Yeah.
But overall, because it was going to be my bonus question for tonight, then I changed it. John Williams has the world record for most losses / nominations for anyone. I think he's lost like 43 times, and he's been nominated 50 something. So yeah.
John Williams. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense. He's one of the
Does a lot of work.
He does.
Yeah.
Works a lot. Morgan, what are you feeling for score?
Encanto.
Nice. It's bright. It's happy. I like it. Ben.
That's the only thing I like about the movie.
So Anna, who's watching, I believe, made a really good point. Yeah. Oh, she's typing. She had a really good point about the Power of the Dog score, which is that the score is so kind of integral to the story and is really like impacted by the story, and that it's very like sort of piano and strings heavy. And there's scenes in that film that are, you know, very character centric, with like Kirsten Dunst practicing the piano and Cumberbatch like with the strings, and the way that Johnny Greenwood integrates that into his music. And it is a fantastic score. And he also did Spencer too this year, which had a great score. And he did Licorice Pizza, which he didn't do a ton of music for, but he's just
I was gonna say that was a lot of jukebox.
Yeah. He did a few he wrote a few pieces for it, but to me, it's between that and Dune. It's a tough one.
You gotta choose.
I think I'm gonna go with Dune, but I would be very happy if Power of the Dog won.
You might get that. Like you might win it.
You might, yeah.
It could happen. And if it does,
this
Lisa,
could be
you'll
what
get
gets
the
you your
point.
T-shirt. This could be what gets you the shirt. There you go. And you know, transition. Let's go to sound. Since we're talking about score, sound design, our options for sound are Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, and Power of the Dog. I voted
and West Side Story.
Oh, and West Side Story. I forgot about that. Yeah, that one's there too.
How are you?
I voted for No Time to Die because the research I did told me that that's what will win. And it makes sense. It seems like a movie that would win. Like, there's probably gunshots they layered in and mixed and stuff. So, yeah, there we go. Ben, what are you feeling for sound?
Sound, I put Dune.
Dune, okay.
It really helped sell that world, you know. The West Side Story did have really good, you know, not just music, but great sound design too. There's great technical stuff in that movie. But
so much. But it'll be rewarded in other categories.
For sure.
Well, it should be. It probably won't. Morgan, sound.
Dune.
Dune. Dune's a popular one. Jeanette.
Dune as well. I feel like sci-fis usually do well in this category.
Yeah.
Lisa.
I'm going to go with No Time to Die because I love when action films win the sound award, because usually that's all they're nominated for because of the sound effects, and it's a Bond film, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I should do a Bond movie marathon.
that would be fun.
I've never watched a Bond movie. This could be the chance.
Me
None?
neither.
Not even the Pierce Brosnan?
God,
Never. Not one.
I've never met anybody else aside from myself that hasn't seen a Bond movie.
Lauren, we have
I
to do the
have
Bond
one-
movie marathon.
I know. We'll do it. We'll do it.
You
It'll
guys
be
got to
like-
see some Bonds. You got to
Yeah.
see some
Oh,
Bonds.
right?
Come on.
One
Do a
movie per
Bond marathon.
Yeah, we're going to.
We'll do it. We're going to
Thank
do it.
you, Vince. Great support.
Lauren, what's your pick for sound?
I am going to choose Dune. I agree with Jeanette that sci-fi's usually win the techies.
Cool. All right, and transition, since we're kind of in now the technical categories, let's talk about visual effects. This one I can see going in a lot of directions. Our options here are Dune.
This is my category.
Oh, this is it? Okay. We're getting so excited. Dune, Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi, or Spider-Man. I just voted Spider-Man. I don't think it'll win, but it should get something. I voted Spider-Man. Morgan's really excited, so let's end with Morgan, actually, because I feel like you might have the most to say.
I
Lauren.
watched the most movies in this category.
I'm voting for Spider-Man as well. I just thought it was such a amazing, like there was so many amazing effects in that movie.
Yeah, like I think it was a good blend of practical and visual from what I understand, and I'm always a fan of practical effects. So, yeah. Lisa, what do you think?
Oh, Spider-Man. That was like such a good movie. It deserves at least a little recognition in the Oscars. But I will say, like, Shang-Chi was phenomenal. Like, that was like that. I saw that at a drive-in, and I could not get over the wildness that was happening before my eyes. But I really want Spider-Man to win.
Yeah. Spider-Man, I just want to get something. And if this is it, I'm happy. Jeanette, what are you feeling?
So originally I wanted to say Dune, and then like after, like I had said, I looked at some behind the scenes stuff, and a lot of that is practical. Like a lot of that's makeup, and so I feel like it doesn't quite fall under visual effects. Because there's a makeup category. But and I don't, nobody kill me. I just wasn't able to go to the movies. But I haven't seen Spider-Man yet, but I know because it's Marvel and it's big Marvel that it's got the best special effects. So visual effects for Spider-Man.
It was
nice.
so good.
I know, and I don't even have to see it to know it's good, but I'm dying inside because I haven't seen it yet.
So, Morgan, what is your pick?
You forgot Ben.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ben, what's your pick?
She's like, I'm going last.
I'm gonna say Dune. I think they're gonna give it to Dune.
Morgan, what's your pick?
Okay, I have seen Free Guy. I've seen Shang-Chi 15 times. And I have seen Spider-Man, all in this category. I haven't seen Dune just because, like, I don't have access to it. And I hate Bond, so no. But
tell us how you really feel, Morgan.
you know me, controversial opinions just come here. Free Guy was a really good movie, and it had a lot of visual effects. I think a lot more than people are giving it actual credit for.
Yeah.
However, I don't think it's going to win just because it's Ryan Reynolds and the Academy just does not like him very much.
Neither do I.
He's a Canadian.
Wait. I want to dig into this more. How do we know the Academy doesn't like Ryan Reynolds? Like
He's never been nominated for anything.
But that doesn't
I don't
mean
think
they
he's
don't
ever
like
even been
him.
invited.
He was invited for Betty White. He was invited for Betty White.
Oh, see?
Okay.
Okay, but like, has he been in any like Oscar-worthy performances? No. So
Let's keep it that way.
No, I just watched The Adam Project. I thought that was really good.
I want to watch that. It looks so good.
That was so good. But anyway,
Gotta vote for
so
Dune.
I think it's going to come down to Shang-Chi and Spider-Man, but I think it is the biggest snub that this is the only thing Shang-Chi is nominated for. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. The acting in that, amazing.
Those
And-
never
He's a
get
Canadian,
nominated
too.
for that, though.
What?
I know.
Spider-Man 2, yes. Also, like, huge snub, especially on Tom Holland's part. I think he totally deserves an Oscar.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
We have our answer.
Probably.
That's why the Academy hates Ryan Reynolds.
Probably.
I also don't think they've forgotten Van Wilder either. So 'cause I know I haven't. I can't.
I'm gonna go with Spider-Man just because I think Spider-Man's gonna win, but I would not be shocked to see Shang-Chi win because Shang-Chi actually has double the visual effects that Spider-Man does, just because of all the characters in Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
I mean, that would make me happy. I'd be happy to see any of these. Well, I'd be happy to see half of these win.
But I don't think it's going to win just because it's like, I don't want to say it, but it's basically a minority. Like, it's not it didn't appeal to a lot of people. It
was so good though.
It was so good, and people
so
came around at the end, not when it was like in the theaters and stuff. So they really came around when it got released on Disney Plus, and everyone was like, I gotta see it. But I think just because of theatrical releases and everything, Spider-Man No Way Home.
I will say, Morgan, like, I agree with you. It got snubbed for the other categories. It should have definitely gotten a nomination for sound. Like, that was wild and fun and so deliciously, like, satisfying in all the fight scenes. So yeah, totally agree with you.
So it's also like, it's one of those movies too that just brings to light that there's no Academy acknowledgement for stunt work, which I think that would have absolutely taken away.
Yeah, that would have been a good.
Yeah, sadly, but they have their own award show because the Oscars doesn't. So I'm sure it was nominated there. Okay.
Hopefully they make a second because I'm
sure they will.
Yeah,
I'm sure they will. And if not, those characters will come back because we love them. I love Awkwafina. I love, just put her in everything, and they are, so it's all good. She's Scuttle, I can't wait. And everyone else, but like Awkwafina. Love her. Okay, now segueing into, where did it go? I know the category. Here we go. Makeup and hairstyling. For this, we have coming to, the number 2, America, Cruella, Dune, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and The House of Gucci, Father-Son House of Gucci. My choice is Cruella, 100%. I was torn between that and Eyes of Tammy Faye. I read something that was really harsh but kind of true that said Jessica Chastain wouldn't have been nominated for an Oscar if it wasn't for the makeup department, which harsh, but also kind of true. But like, you need to be a good enough actor to wear it and inhabit it, but it helped her. Like, the stuff that they did for her to emulate that very specific human with a very specific look, I think is award worthy, but I'm going for Cruella just because my philosophy with awards is that you need to acknowledge craft in addition to the work that went into it. And like, I follow this, like, the person, the makeup and the hair artist on Instagram, and maybe I'm just more biased because I've seen her Instagram and she posts about the process a lot, but the level of detail and the work that she did for Cruella, not just for Emma Stone, but for like that scene where they have all the Cruella wigs at the end, there's like 100 people. She was posting about how they had to source those wigs like from stores all across America, and then they had to get an entire team of people to style them within like 48 hours, and just stuff like that to me is equally impressive to putting something amazing on screen, which I think she did with Cruella. Like, Cruella should have also been nominated for so many more things, but is what it is. So I just want to see it get something. So yeah, Cruella is my pick. Lauren, what do you think?
I have seen all of these movies.
Nice.
And I am also picking Cruella because I do think that of them, I think that it did a really good job. I actually also kind of like Coming to America, but
I like that movie. It's okay. I thought the worst part of that whole movie was the lead actor, but the young guy. I thought everybody who was in the originals was great. Like, this guy stinks.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. One for Cruella. Ben, what's your pick?
I'm going with The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Okay.
I think that all the points that you made, Matt, are right on the money, where I think that the makeup job that they did was very accurate to who Tammy Faye Baker was. I just get a feeling that Chastain's like really like pushing for that makeup award for that team too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I just get a feeling that like behind the scenes there's like a lot of like a lot of enthusiasm and support coming from her for the work they did with her on that movie. So that could also help it. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen, but we'll see.
Nice. Yeah. Broadway Disney fan agrees with you.
Ooh.
Martha's in the Cruella camp. Morgan, how are you feeling?
Cruella all the way. Another snub. You know what I also realized with the Oscars? The sooner they come out in the year, the less they are nominated. I
For
feel.
sure.
100%.
Yeah. And both Shang-Chi and Cruella came out very early in the year. And I feel like that like kind of hurt them when it came to the Oscars. And I was shocked that Cruella was nominated because I didn't think they were gonna pull it off. But I'm hoping they'll do justice and give her the award. But
I would love that. Like, I wanted Emma Stone to get nominated. I feel like she's an actress who deserves an Oscar, but not for what she won for. Like, I think that I think there's other performances that she's done that were award worthy as well, but just the way she carried this movie, like that's what Matt would give the Oscar to for Emma. Aside from La La Land. That whole movie it was what it was. Jeanette.
So this category has the most movies that I wanted to see that I haven't seen yet, which is
Very
House
specific.
of Gucci and Eyes of Tammy Faye. So, and I also feel like makeup, when you're trying to depict real people, is like, I always feel like those are going to do the best. So I think just because she kind of is like an icon of makeup, Eyes of Tammy Faye, like to get that very classic look, I think is important.
No, and I think the movie also is very aware of how important makeup is, because if I remember, one of the first shots of the movie is just like drawing attention to her face and her eyeliner. They're like, can we tone it down? She's like, no, it's tattooed on. It's my trademark. So like, like it is the heart of the movie.
I love
aside
her
from
story.
her.
I want to see it so bad.
That movie was a very pleasant surprise. I didn't think I'd enjoy it, but I very much did. Lisa, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with my heart and go with House of Gucci. I really liked I don't like that Jared Leto was in a fat suit the entire time, but the makeup that they did on him was kind of cool and really made the character. And I liked what they did with Adam Driver as he was getting older. Like I think it was pretty good. And in like regards to like Lady Gaga's hair and makeup, like the evolution of that character was really evident in the hair and makeup. So yeah, I really want House of Gucci to win. It was snubbed. It was so snubbed in so many
It's
categories.
killing me that I have not seen something that both Lady Gaga and Adam Driver in. Like my brain is going to explode if I don't see this soon. I'm going to die.
Because I am dying to see it, but I am shocked with how much praise it got that it was not nominated for more things.
Yeah,
I've heard so many mixed reviews. I've heard people that loved it and people that hated it. Wait, Ben, you saw it.
Everybody talk like this in the movie.
That is
Jared Leto say, Mauricio, how could you? And that's House of Gucci. It's the Gucci.
It was a beautiful snapshot of 80s Italy. It was great. But I will say, like,
pre-Jersey Shore, Jersey.
Like,
whoa! They
like
are
House
not
of Gucci,
from New Jersey.
It really should have been nominated also for costumes. Those dresses that Lady Gaga wore, phenomenal, beautiful, captured everything that it needed to. And of course, she was snubbed for the lead actress, but it's okay. She got a lot of love for A Star Is Born. It's fine. I'll get over it.
I know, right?
Yes. Saying last year was better.
Anna, you're saying it now. Don't make me explode.
Yeah.
I was saving that for the best movie category.
I'll bring Anna's comment back when we get to Best Picture. Even though it'll be out of context. I'll bring it back for you, though. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So Martha says Cruella, but then she says Tammy Faye's makeup was heavier than portrayed in the movie. Apparently, in real life, her mascara was so thick she couldn't keep her eyes up. Wow. I believe that.
Yeah.
I'm so sad I missed out on the Tammy Faye era. Like, I was alive. I just wasn't paying attention, I guess. But it just looks like it was so entertaining.
I have no idea.
There's a documentary about, I think it also is called The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I could be wrong. Ooh. It came out in like the early 2000s-ish, and I haven't seen it, but I'm having a hard time tracking it down, but I'd love to see it.
I remember that.
When was she popular?
In the
80s, 90s. Yeah.
90s, yeah.
Well, we kind of touched on it, so let's talk about costumes and go to costume design.
Yeah.
Our options here are Cruella, Cyrano. That was That was eligible for this year?
I know. I thought it just came out like a month ago.
Okay. Dune, Nightmare Alley, or West Side Story? I went for Cruella for the same reasons, basically, as makeup and hairstyling, and also because Jenny Bavin tends to win, as she should, because she is an icon, and I love everything she does. Plus, the whole movie's about fashion. She, like, both created iconic, amazing things for Cruella, but then was also so true to period fashion on both, like, the punk rock side of London alongside, like, the more couture Dior style things that old Emma was wearing. Like, I just think she covered everything. It was both period plus kind of fantasy. I loved it. So yeah, that's me, Cruella. Lisa, what are you feeling for costumes?
I said this when we were like reviewing it, but I can't get over West Side Story's intentional design and everything. And with the costumes, specifically with the sharks' dresses, like in America, like that number was phenomenal. It was gorgeous.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it makes up for House of Gucci not being represented.
No, West Side was my second choice for like that exact reason. The America dresses come to mind, but just everything, period. I wasn't there. It looked like it was period appropriate.
The color motifs, it was gorgeous. Yeah.
Like the dance at the gym when you just see all the cool tones for cool versus the worm tones. And I doubt it was intentional, but I liked how it was an inversion of what people typically do with Romeo and Juliet to dress the families, because Zeffirelli very firmly established that like Capulets are blue and Montagues are red, which is kind of carried through in a lot of films, but this swapped that. I think it was more to reflect America versus Puerto Rico, but I thought that was fun. So yeah. Jeanette, what's your pick for costumes?
I'm gonna have to go Cruella.
Cool. So good. Morgan.
Cruella.
Yes. Lauren.
I am also going with West Side Story. I just thought the costuming in there was just so beautiful, and the intention to color was just amazing.
Yeah, I would not be sad if West Side won. I'd be sad if Cyrano won.
Or if Nightmare Alley won.
Apparently Cyrano was released earlier in the States.
Why?
You don't even know what that is.
Matt, have you seen Cyrano? It's a musical, right?
That's part of the reason I don't want to see it. So I'm very picky with my musicals, and the preview doesn't make it look great. I'm also not crazy about the Cyrano story.
What in the world? I'm so out of loss.
I don't know, like Peter Dinklage kind of annoys me.
Wait, it's a musical that Peter Dinklage is in?
Yes.
I kind of have to see it now.
And directed by Joe Wright, who did Pride and Prejudice and Anna Karenina 10 years ago.
I'm looking at it right now.
And the music is by like the Nationals, so they're probably going to be like Cyrano de Bergerac. It'll be all.
What in the world is this?
Do we know where we can find it? Is it streaming somewhere in the U.S.?
I think it's in theaters right now, at least in Canada. But we just saw that. I guess it came out in Canada a lot later. So
it's
maybe
only in
it's
theaters.
Streaming. Maybe you can rent it on.
No,
like
it's
on
only
Apple?
in theaters.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe
and why is it nominated, Matt? You're right.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Why?
Ben, are you picking Cyrano? What are you feeling?
Can you imagine if I was just like, it's gonna be Cyrano? There's no question. There's one movie on the tip of everyone's tongue, baby, and it's Cyrano. I'm gonna go with I couldn't put it better than Lauren or Lisa. I really think that West Side Story has a great shot, and I'm going to put myself down for that one. I like the intentionality of the color, the way that you guys discussed those dresses. There's a lot of ingredients in that stew of West Side Story that make it as sumptuous as it is, and the costumes are just one. But I'm gonna put my name down for that one.
Nice. Imagine if it's neither of those. If it is Cyrano,
that's the big upset. Everybody's like, "What?"
Freaking Dune.
Or Dune. Oh,
I could see it being Dune. I was gonna say if it's not either of those, it's gonna be Dune.
I have a feeling.
Those still suits are pretty cool, though.
Yeah, but that's like the only thing. Otherwise, you're just wearing like Derelict from Zoolander. It's just, it's really like.
Well,
Desert
we're kind of moving
power.
into this category. Let's talk about production design because the first one on the list nominated is Dune, alongside Nightmare Alley, Power of the Dog, Tragedy of Macbeth. I said it, I don't regret it, and West Side Story. I picked West Side because it's like the most visually sumptuous, as Ben said, movie I've seen in a long time. Macbeth was kind of up there too, but I think that was more about the cinematography for me. But yeah, West Side was like looking at a Time magazine from the 50s brought to life. I thought it was gorgeous. Yeah, Ben, what are you feeling for production design?
I'm also going to say West Side Story for that one.
Cool.
For all the reasons you guys have said, it just looks fantastic. It feels true to the era, but it feels heightened and beautiful. And this is more about cinematography, so I'll keep my mouth shut. We'll move on.
We'll get there. Morgan, what do you want to win for production design?
Sorry, my ring light fell on me.
Oh, no. As it does.
Yeah. I think West Side Story.
Jeanette?
So I'm gonna go with Tragedy of Macbeth here, and I agree. Cinematography has a lot, and sometimes it's hard to separate the two in your head. But I do feel like also, especially the sand, just the way that the sand, it's so, I don't know, it just felt so weird and cool, and like it gave the film texture. Yeah, because
like
it was black and white.
Flowers, all the like in the forest, so beautiful.
Yeah, it's so I think that was just one of the most visually stunning films I've ever seen. I love that movie.
We have to. It's probably not even going to be a marathon. I'm just going to do a live stream talk about that movie because I want to, and I loved it so much. You're all invited. Lisa.
I'm going to go with West Side Story as well, specifically because of the cool number on that platform in that deteriorating building with the holes, but also like everything else.
I want to know how many times they fell through that hole.
Apparently they never did.
They never did.
Cool.
Well, I think if they did, it would have been like an injury that took them out. Because I think it was legitimately suspended above.
They didn't have any safety underneath those holes?
They definitely did.
Maybe they did. The people were talking about how scared they were watching it for them. So I feel like there might have been safety, but there was still some risk.
I'm assuming that if they fell, it would have probably gone up to their waist, and there was a mat underneath.
Yeah. I do have a question. For production design, does this also encompass lighting design?
I think that would be more cinematography.
Yeah, I think that's cinematography.
Okay.
But yeah, like Jeanette said, it's hard to. They kind of all go into the mise-en-scène pool, to use my film degree. I don't really know what no one knows what mise-en-scène is. That's
Le mise-en-scène.
But yeah,
I know what mise-en-place is, but no, I don't know.
Mise-en-scène.
Wouldn't lighting go into visual?
No, because it's not an effect necessarily.
It could be.
No, it's more within cinematography. Like technically, it would be there's nothing for gaffers. But
did it ever used to be its own category? I thought it was its own category at one point.
No, lighting.
Because when it comes to tech and craft things like this, they just kind of blanket it.
Yeah.
As opposed to I think production design would be encompassing things like
the
set maybe and location scouting potentially. Who knows? Yeah. It's the Oscars being what they are. They throw a blanket term and they're like, here, it's an award.
I feel like production design involves costumes too.
Yeah, for sure. But I think costumes are easy enough to define as their own thing.
They pick out what they want and they leave in what they don't.
Yeah.
However many Oscars they give them, they just divvy them out with starting at the top.
Exactly. Lauren, what's your pick?
Mine is West Side Story, and that's just because I feel like it's very difficult to not only capture like a time period piece, but one that like represents kind of the like a romanticized version. It's very true to the 1961 film, where you really feel like you're part of that film. Does that make any sense? What I'm saying? Yeah. Okay.
For sure. All right. So yeah, again, very clear winner. But Jeanette, if Macbeth wins, you might get a T-shirt. So there we are. All right. So we've talked about cinematography. Let's just go all in. Cinematography. Our options here are Dune, Nightmare Alley, Power of the Dog, Tragedy of Macbeth, or West Side Story. I picked West Side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, who haven't we started with? Lisa, what do you want to see win for Cine?
Okay, I'm like going to my list. I was
Okay.
not ready. I'm so sorry, but
Oh,
I
it's
am
okay.
ready now.
Okay.
I'm going to go with like I really liked all the elements in the Power of the Dog, like with the landscapes,
Mhm.
and like just the shots of that. But I still can't get over the lighting design in West Side Story, especially in that chapel scene where the red and the blue were on their faces. It might have been a yawner song to some, but
I loved that number. That
gorgeous.
scene.
It was so gorgeous, that lighting. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Ben, what would you pick for cinematography?
This is a great category this year. There's a lot of really good options that they could go with for who they're going to pick. God, it's tough. I mean, West Side Story would sometimes trick me into thinking that it was like a 1950s Technicolor film. Like it
Mhm.
would blast like beautiful, vivid color at you, and there was a texture to it. But then it also had that like Yanis Kaminski like kind of desaturated, like sometimes like very like kind of like gritty look to it. And it did both of those things, and somehow they are married very well in that movie. So I think that would be a really like valid choice. Also, the tragedy of Macbeth, I feel like no one is like besides us talking as much as they should about that movie's cinematography and its minimalism and what it does with light and how it creates its world.
Yeah.
So that's another like fantastic pick. I'm looking at the rest of the list here. I have a choice, but I want to make sure that I'm. Nightmare Alley looked like fine. Power of the Dog, wonderful, cinematography. But I think I'm gonna go with Dune, if only for its sense of scale and the enormity of it, and how, and just how massive. Did anybody see Dune in IMAX at any point?
No, I imagine
It
that
was
makes a huge difference.
kind of
I might have
stunning.
liked it,
Yeah, I mean, because you'll have actors like this big, and then you'll have a giant sandworm, and that movie also had like kind of incredible. I mean, it was very desert power, but it had a great desert palette to it. And it looked like a real. I mean, all these look like real movies, and that's what I love to see. So I'm gonna go with Dune, but I'd be very happy if West Side Story or Power of the Dog or Tragedy.
Broadway Disney fan agrees with you. Dune, but rooting
Yeah.
for West Side. My mom says
Yeah.
West Side. Morgan, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm wondering what a fake movie is.
Anything I've made.
No, Matt, come on. The Persephone, come on.
Oh yeah,
Matt.
you're right. Persephone has like
Myth of Persephone.
14,000 views on YouTube on my old channel.
Correct.
Cool.
Maybe it's 1,400. No, I think it's 14,000. No,
You should link it below.
You did a film of Persephone?
It was my first ever film at York in film school. First ever sync sound film.
I want to see this.
It's okay. It's like it's fine.
It's good, Matt. And the guy who plays like the hotel clerk is very, very good.
I forgot you were in it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm in your movie.
Yeah, you were very good.
I'm in the movie.
You are in the movie. I wish you were doing that in the movie, Ben.
I wish you were in the House of Gucci.
Persephone, how
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Morgan, what's your cinematography pick?
So I'm gonna go with West Side Story, because I think that what you guys were talking about with the costuming and the red versus the blue, you can see it throughout the movie, and I think that is more, yes, their costumes, but I think it's more prominent in the cinematography because of that lighting that has to be present during that chapel scene, and then you see it at other times too, throughout the movie. Like wherever the jets are, it's always blue sky, always blue sky around. And then anytime you see the sharks, it's always very dark, very warm, very like lit by like lamps and things. So, and that reminds me of red. So, so I'm going with West Side Story. But if it doesn't win, I think they'll give it to The Tragedy of Macbeth. Like whichever one. It's they're either gonna get production design or this one, The Tragedy of Macbeth.
I hope it gets something. It's
That's
not going to
fine.
get Best Actor, which, well, we'll get there. Jeanette, what are you feeling?
So I'm definitely going to go with Tragedy of Macbeth. I am noticing that Nightmare Alley's on all these lists, and I have to tell you, if Nightmare Alley is nominated for all of these visual awards, then by the same proxy, the Batman movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze in should be nominated because they look the freaking same.
Thank you for saying that.
It looks like a Batman movie from 1997.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not a
same
good
lighting,
visual.
same cinematography.
Yeah.
Is this a horror movie? I
No, unfortunately, it was not.
Oh.
I thought it was going to be, and it is very much not.
He's trying to like have a noir renaissance, but it's in color. It should have been black and white.
It was obviously a passion project and a bunch of really good actors in it playing really mediocre roles. So I love Kate Blanchett. The woman can do no wrong in my eyes. But God, she had to carry every scene she was in. That poor woman's shoulders must hurt so bad.
It was just so rough.
I don't want to watch it because I read it's really violent. I don't like violence in movies.
It's not violent enough.
No.
The cast is so good because it's kind of a trick. Like he's like, I'm gonna just load it with like awesome actors every 5 minutes, but no one's gonna do anything for at least an hour.
Yeah.
And nothing, everybody's just sitting there for like an hour, and then Kate Blanchett shows up and it's like it kind of imbues it with a little bit of energy, but then it just kind of goes like, oh, and it's so weird coming from Del Toro because he's a super passionate, super imaginative guy.
Wait, Labyrinth is in like my top 3 movies. On a boat?
No, this is about the carnival. It's like I almost said Brad Pitt. Bradley Cooper is a carny, but he's also a charlatan, and he's kind of tricking people.
Brad Pitt might have been better in this.
I would have. Hey, listen. I would have loved to have seen him in it. It would have been great.
One can dream. Lauren, what's your pick for cinematography?
I kind of want to go for Power of the Dog. Just 'cause I like that kind of like the expanse and all of that, but I think I'm going to go with West Side Story again.
I wrote you down for Power of the Dog. I'll change it. There we go. West Side. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to go for West Side Story again, just because actually Ben like more eloquently summed up what I was trying to say about production design, and that's like it gives the feel of it is very like romanticized, but at the same time gritty, and it does its job very well.
Nice.
I think like in that regard for like the grittiness, I think it had a lot to do with it being filmed on film, like it captured such beautiful detail. West Side Story is so great. But can I just talk about the Power of the Dog in that shot where they where Benedict Cumberbatch is like being like, do you see what's out there? And the guy's like, yeah, the dog. And like he's just so shocked. Yeah. It was the most hilarious moment for me in cinematic history because it was like, what? Like it's literally there. There's a barking dog. It was a beautiful moment. I loved it. I want to rewatch that moment over and over again.
I approve. Okay, film editing. So for film editing, we have Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, Power of the Dog, and Tick, Tick, Boom. I picked Don't Look Up because I liked the pacing. I felt like it created tension in an effective way. Yeah. Ben, what do you think?
So my internet just cut and all of your faces went to black for a minute and the sound cut out. And then it came back and I heard tick, tick, boom. But I want to make sure, are we talking about editing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm so sorry, Matt. I apologize that my internet is acting up so much. I want to be with it. I want to be in it on the conversation.
And you are. Okay. You are, Ben. You are.
What do I have? what did I put for editing? I have my list here. Oh boy. Okay.
My heart wants Tick, Tick,
you know
Boom
what?
as
I'm
well.
I haven't seen Tick Tick Boom, but I take your word for it. I gotta watch. I almost watched it today. I should have watched it. I'm gonna say.
So
I'm
good.
gonna say The Power of the Dog.
Okay.
Because it's the movie, we talked about it a bit when we did our Power of the Dog episode, but the movie is it withholds a lot of information and it kind of siphons it out in a way that like makes you like you're kind of wondering what you're watching for a really long time, then it all clicks into place like a perfect little puzzle. And I think
I would have liked the editing if they cut an hour out of it, but that's just me.
Yeah, it was long. It was long.
I said it. Morgan, what do you think?
You said it.
Editing?
Tick Tick Boom, all the way, all the way. I think it was so good, and I thought it was the perfect amount of anxiety for someone that just can't stand things like that. Like if someone's tapping their pencil in my class, I'm like, please stop. Like, just stop. I can't take it. And so the fact that that was throughout the whole thing, and I loved how they mixed in raw footage of him with the Andrew Garfield, and sometimes I couldn't tell. I was like, is this Andrew Garfield or is this like his original? Like, it was so good that I couldn't always tell. And I loved how I love the whole thing, how I thought one thing was going to happen and then something different happened, and I could have just looked it up, which I ended up doing like with 20 minutes left of the movie because I was like, I need to know. But
did you not know that he dies?
No, I didn't.
Morgan.
Well, I didn't either, so thanks a
It's
lot.
Jonathan Larson.
Literally, like that's the huge story about Rent.
Jonathan Larson. That's like
Oh, God, yeah,
thing.
but everything about Rent is that
he
people
died
die.
the night of that Rent opened.
Isn't
It's a
it?
sad thing.
People
Yeah,
just
like died before.
I've never
Oh my
seen
God!
it.
Can I tell you like a really embarrassing story about
Oh,
this?
please, yes.
So I used to work for GLAAD, and we had these awards for best representation in film and different forms of media. Well, I had not seen Rent before, and this is like back in the 90s. And I had not seen Rent before, and I didn't actually know anything about Rent. And I was tasked to call all of the directors of the different things and tell them that they were up for a GLAAD award. So I call and I'm like, can I talk to Jonathan Larson? And they're like, no. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And they said, didn't you know that he died? I was so embarrassed. I was so.
Oh, no.
I am so embarrassed.
When was this? When did you do this?
It was back in the 90s. I can't remember exactly.
Like, had he just died, or like had it been a couple years?
This was the first year that Rent came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
so
it was
it
still
was
current events. There was no
I
internet.
know. It was, at the same, like you're asking for somebody and they're like,
no longer here.
they're dead. They died.
Oh,
No, I'm
thing.
sorry, Lauren.
oh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I've never seen
for
Rent.
that.
Rent wasn't like I'm not that generation. I'm the generation of like the Disney musicals.
Oh, like right after. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I recommend check out Rent next, not the movie though, the film
Rent's
stage
been
production.
like banned from all the schools I was in. So
Oh yeah, it is one of those.
yeah.
Wait, who haven't we heard from for editing? Jeanette, what do you think?
Torn between Don't Look Up and Dune, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Dune. I did like the pacing of Don't Look Up, but I just genuinely don't think it's gonna win any awards, unfortunately. So,
Ooh, hot take, Lisa.
I'm gonna go with a strong Don't Look Up because I really love that end scene where they're all at the dinner table and it like is glitching back and forth into the stock images, and I think it captured such a terrible end, but like that's what the film was going for. And I think when we were talking about like the review, how the way that it was edited like brought this sense of dread and like this prolonging and this frustration that I think the editing really captured. And I don't think it would have been what it was without the way that it was edited. So yeah,
no, that's pretty much my exact thoughts. That's why I went for it too. I think the anxiety inducing quality of that movie that I think everyone who watched it felt was just entirely attributed to how well paced it was. So
I don't even have anxiety, but those movies.
That movie gave it to me.
Yeah, that's yeah, exactly.
I hate
Lauren, what's your pick?
suspenseful movies if they're not like story. Like I just hate. I can't. Like it's so weird because I love like Shang-Chi and Marvel, and I feel like those are a slight suspense. But I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's like the pen clicking. It's
It makes me want to cry. I'm literally just like, get to it already. Like, just do it. That's why I can't watch horror films either, because I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting, and I can't do it. I can't.
No.
I'm voting for Don't Look Up. I like exactly what everybody's saying is that the way that they cut that film together was so anxiety inducing, and what Lisa was saying about that last scene was brilliant. It was brilliant. I mean,
I feel like all these movies induce anxiety.
What?
I mean, they've been made over the past 2 years. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We've got 7 categories left, and like last week, I have a sandwich to pick up at 10:45. So, not to say let's rush through it, but I want to make sure that we get to touch on everything. And let's go to animated feature next. So for animated feature, we have Encanto, Flea, Luca, Mitchell's versus the Machines, and Raya and the Last Dragon. My heart says Raya, but no one else in the world seems to agree with me that it's like the best movie Disney has put out in the last decade. So there you go. But I went Encanto because I know it's going to win. So there it is. Lauren, what's your pick for animated?
Well, it's going to be Encanto. I mean, if it isn't, it's crazy. But my favorite of the films was Luca. Luca is just, I love that film so much.
Luca was beautiful.
Yeah.
Again, should have had a theatrical, but Lisa, what are you feeling for animated feature?
Is it Raya or Raya?
I think it's Raya.
Raya? That was such a fun movie. It was like you said, Matt, like one of the best Disney films I've seen in like recent years. Like so much fun. Love the voice acting in that. But I know Encanto's gonna win. It got the Golden Globes and BAFTAs, so
yeah,
that Encanto is my vote.
So where we have to be strategic.
Yeah,
Jeanette.
that shirt.
So of the 3 Disney movies that are nominated, Luca is my personal favorite. There's only 2 movies on this list that my daughter has asked to repeatedly watch, and that's Encanto and Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Really?
So I usually try to vote in her way whenever I'm thinking of animated films. And this might be the only time that I kind of vote. Like, I know Encanto is going to win, but I have to give a vote to the Mitchells versus the Machines because it's very different. The voice actors in it are ridiculously good, and it's so much fun.
Cool.
So I would recommend it to anybody that's trying to branch out from like the CGI Disney verse. It's really, really, really good.
Yeah, I've heard other people recommend that to me.
And I just noticed it was on Netflix today, so it's easily
fantastic.
accessible.
And I've seen it like 3 times now. It's so
really
good. Yeah.
Glowing endorsement. Morgan, what's your vote?
This is like well, I can tell you what I really don't want to win.
What's that? Okay. Yes.
I don't want it to win. I actually think that it is not as I think if it had no music, it'd be terrible and no one would watch it. That's my
Well, we could say the same thing about Lion King. It would just be a kid's dad dying.
It's true. Jeanette, you were correct.
Not wrong. Yep.
Like I just I don't understand. I don't understand it. And I've tried so many times. I've actually fallen asleep while watching it.
Oh my gosh.
Twice. Yeah.
So is it your pick?
No. I don't even care about the stupid t-shirt because I'm gonna buy one anyway, so it doesn't matter. I love Luca, and I've watched it probably 12 times as well. And then I also love Raya and the Last Dragon.
So good.
I'm gonna go Raya and the Last Dragon because I feel like that needs a win. Encanto's gonna get all these other categories. It can give something else.
Yeah. I want to live in a
Luca
world
or
where Raya
Raya
wins an
win,
Oscar.
I will jump up and down and scream.
Yeah. As will I. Ben, what do you think? Is it Flea? Are you going to vote Flea?
I'm not gonna do it. It's not gonna win. Imagine the uproar. It wouldn't win. But I'm glad that Jeanette gave a shout out to Mitchell's versus the Machines, because it is a really, really charming movie, and it's got a very different kind of pace and aesthetic to it, and it is a lot of fun and very sweet, and clearly made by people who love movies, which is kind of fun too. I'm gonna trust all of your better judgment and say that Encanto's gonna take Best Animated Feature, because I feel like even the people that are voting for other movies are like, yeah, Encanto's probably gonna win. But we got to shout out some other stuff, and I want to win that T-shirt, Matt. So I'm gonna put Encanto down.
I want you to win that T-shirt too, Ben. Well, all of you. I want you all to win T-shirts.
You know why I think people don't like Raya? I'll just say this really quickly. You know why I think people don't understand, don't give Raya its justice? I think it's because it came out right when movie theaters first opened, and a lot of people didn't agree with it going to Disney Plus and them having to pay for it.
Right.
So it caused a lot of uproar there and a lot of backlash. So people just didn't want to watch it because of that. And then because people weren't comfortable going to the theaters yet, not a lot of people saw it. And then they everything else has come out since then. Yeah. And Luca came out at the same time for free. So it was why would you pay for Raya if you could watch Luca for free, kind of thing. And that's why I think a lot of people have downplayed how good of a movie it is, and that's it's really sad.
Unfortunately true. That's probably no, I don't regret paying for Cruella. I don't regret paying for any of the ones I paid for Premier Access, but Raya just I watched it thinking this was worth the money, and
I went and saw it in theaters twice.
Oh, our theaters were closed then, or else I would have right away. Yeah. Okay. Screenplays. So I want to be able to have discussions about actors, directors, and pictures. So let's talk about screenplays quickly. And also, I don't know if we care about screenplays. So adapted screenplay. Our options are Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, Last Daughter, and Power of the Dog. Again, my mentality is I want Coda to win anything. So I picked Coda. Yeah. Lauren, what do you think?
Coda.
Coda, sweet. Lisa.
I'm going to go with the Power of the Dog. And I do want to say that even though I enjoyed The Lost Daughter, if Maggie Gyllenhaal gets it, I'm going to be so mad because it just seemed like she read something and really liked it and was like, I'm going to write this. And I don't agree. That shouldn't have been why it got produced. So yeah, Power of the Dog.
I'm in the corner with the bluebells all over again.
Yes.
Jeanette.
I am going to go with Dune because I just admire the bravery of anyone taking a crack at an already established universe.
Well said. Morgan.
I'm going to go with Dune as well.
Okay. Ben.
I think people might. I know I was surprised to find out that Coda was adapted. I, for some reason, thought it was an original film. But I guess it's based on a French film and I have not seen, but could be good. Coda, I feel like, has a really good shot. I think that I'm going to go with Power of the Dog. I'm feel not 100% certain.
Coda's me voting with my heart. Logically, I do think Power of the Dog is probably going to win.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a toss-up.
I don't want to live in a world where Power of the Dog wins awards, but that.
Wait, is Power of the Dog?
Yeah,
it was 1967, I think.
Yeah. Okay, original screenplay.
Familiar.
Yeah, maybe if I read the book, I'd like it. Who knows? Original screenplay. We have Belfast, Don't Look Up, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, and Worst Person in the World. I said Don't Look Up because I think it's going to win something, and I think it'll only win this, even though I want it to win for editing. Yeah, it feels like one of those movies in my heart.
No.
Ben, let's go the other way. What do you think?
I have the same exact reasoning as you do, Matt, but for Belfast, because
Oh,
Belfast won
okay.
People's Choice at TIFF, and it
Yeah.
had this kind of momentum for a long time as being this Oscar frontrunner. But I feel like it's kind of been chipped away at a bit as other movies have come out and entered the discussion. So I'm like, I think that they might just give it to Belfast and say, "Here you go, Kenny, enjoy." You know, everybody loves Judi Dench saying, "Oh, don't look back, don't look back." So I think that I think that really touched people's hearts, you know, and I think that I think that has a very good shot at winning. Worst Person in the World has a very good screenplay. I also love Licorice Pizza's screenplay, but I don't think that's gonna win any Oscars, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Belfast for original screenplay.
All right. Morgan, what do you think?
King Richard.
Ooh. We haven't even discussed that movie yet. That will come though. But yeah.
The King.
I need to see it. It looks fantastic. And Will Smith, love him.
Yeah.
Jeanette.
I'm torn. I'm gonna go with Don't Look Up, just because Licorice Pizza, to Ben's point, it's a little too brass tacks of a screenplay, I think, to compare to Don't Look Up.
We have so many divided answers. Imagine if like Lisa picks Licorice Pizza and Lauren picks Worst Person in the World. We'd have everything covered. Lisa, what do you think?
I mean, Licorice Pizza did get the BAFTA, but like what Ben said, People's Choice at TIFF and Golden Globe for drama, Belfast won that. So, I mean, I haven't seen Belfast. I know Kenneth Branagh's work, and he's great. So I'm gonna go with Belfast.
Yeah, the Academy likes him, and I think that this is the chance to give him an award because I don't think he's getting anything else for this movie.
Poor Kenny.
I was bored. I turned it off. I paid to rent it, and I couldn't justify paying attention to finish watching it. It was what it was. I know. Normally, I thought I'd be into it, but I keep remembering that I like Kenneth Branagh better in theory than in practice. I don't like any of his movies. I just like the idea of Kenneth
Matt, his Hamlet, I will stand up for any day. His Hamlet's so good. It's so good.
When I finish watching
5 hours of it.
Ben, let's watch it together.
Let's do it. I did it at Christmas. I'll do it again.
Deal.
Absolutely.
Deal. Done. Before the end of the year. Oh, we'll coordinate it with our Christmas dinner. We'll watch it first.
I love it.
France. That's the plan.
It's a date. Absolutely.
It'll be a whole day. Okay. Lauren, what's your pick?
I'm going to go with Don't Look Up. I just thought that it, I don't know, I like the writing to it. Although I kind of want King Richard to win because I like that kind of feel-good movie, you know? And I just feel like the Academy always votes for movies that are so intense and like gritty and whatever.
I want to see King Richard. Which, saying that, let's go to actor in a leading role because my pick is Will Smith in King Richard. Ironically, the one movie in this lineup I have not seen. This is me making a strategic choice based on what I've read, but also I feel like it's time for Will Smith to win an Oscar. I'm going to try to watch the movie before the Oscars, but it seems like this is a good Oscar movie for him to win. Other options are Javier Bardem in Being the Ricardos, doesn't deserve it. Benedict Cumberbatch in Power of the Dog. Benny should get an Oscar, but I don't think this is the movie that'll happen for. And if it does, I'll feel the same way I felt when Emma Stone won for La La Land. Andrew Garfield in Tick, Tick, Boom, who is the one I personally want to win, but I don't think he will because it's a musical and they don't appreciate those. I don't know, he should, but he won't. And Denzel in Tragedy of Macbeth. Much like Andrew, I would love that to happen, but it's not the type of performance I think the Academy awards. I think him getting the nomination is the award.
Didn't he win?
Yeah. Oh wait, did he? No, he didn't. It was Jared.
Else.
Jared Leto won. No, not Jared. The other guy. Casey Affleck won.
And didn't Will Smith win for, or was he just nominated for? What was that movie with him and Jaden?
Pursuit of Happiness.
I have Anna's in the other room yelling. It was Casey Affleck that won that year.
Yes.
So I guess, okay, you had it.
Yes, and then
the other guy.
As soon as Casey accepted, they cut to Denzel looking very angry. I was like, rightfully so, for a lot of reasons. Like not just the snub, but because Casey won. We won't get into that. No time. So yeah, my pick is Will Smith. Lisa, let's start with you. Who's your pick for actor?
So because I feel so strongly, and people will probably disagree with this, but I feel like Will Smith is like our current day Jimmy Stewart, which is very strange, and nobody understands my reasoning.
No, I could see that.
You see it because he has like great comedic timing, and he's also a fantastic dramatic actor. Plus, he's such like a loyal like friend and husband and father. So love Will Smith. I think he's gonna get it. I would like to see Denzel Washington get it, but he already has 2 wins from like Training Day, and I think Glory, which was a supporting actor role. So even though he's like overdue for a win, I don't think it's going to be for the tragedy of Mackers. So
I think he should have won for Fences.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say the Scottish play.
Yeah. I have no qualms saying it, but who knows? It'll come back to bite me one day. Jeanette, who do you want to see win?
Well, nobody else wants to do it because they don't think he'll win, but I'm going to do it because he's the only one that I give a hoot about on this list, and that's Denzel Washington and Macbeth. And I'm not even a huge Denzel fan. That like I don't dislike him. I don't like him. He's usually just good, right? But in this, like everything in Macbeth was amazing. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go.
I wish Macbeth was a bigger front runner for all the awards.
I do too.
Alas, people
also,
just don't.
While we're here, there should be an Adam Driver and a Matt Damon on this list. If not Driver, definitely Damon this year in Last Duel. Matt Damon in that movie. I've never thought he was. Again, I've always thought he was just good, right? Like he's always good in what he does. But in Last Duel, oh my God, he really goes there. But
Adam Driver was like really great in House of Gucci. It's so frustrating.
If you want to hate Adam Driver's character, watch Last Duel.
Oh, cool.
Interesting. All right. Who haven't we had? Oh, yeah, we're going in a weird order because I started in the middle. Let's just keep going, not in any order. Lauren, jumping. There we go.
I'm going to go with I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to go with Will Smith. I've seen every episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at least 3 times, and ever since then he's done some really great stuff, actually. And I think that maybe this is his time to shine.
Yeah, I would love to see it just for him personally, as an artist. Everything. I think it's overdue. And again, I need to see the movie, but from what I've seen, it feels like this is the right movie for him to win for. So yeah, Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it is Will Smith's time. And I think that he, of all of the acting categories, is like the biggest lock. Like, I feel really confident about him winning Best Actor. I love Denzel in The Tragedy of Macbeth. He was incredible. I'm glad that he was nominated. I wish there was more discussion around him in the Oscar discourse as a whole. But I really do think Will Smith is going to win. I just watched the movie yesterday. It was the last Best Picture I had to watch. And he really is like kind of he is the movie, and it's really, I was talking to a friend of mine about how interesting it is too, that Will Smith is like this is the first role I feel like that we're seeing him really kind of like age into it. Like he's always kind of playing, even though I don't know how old he is now, but he always feels like young. He's Will Smith. And here he's a father, his daughters are growing up. I have sort of reservations about the movie as a whole, but I think that his performance and his win would make a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with Will Smith.
Nice.
King Richard.
Morgan, who are you feeling?
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. Glad someone voted for Andy.
I love Will Smith. I completely agree. I haven't seen the movie, although it was on my list to see, and I just haven't seen it. But Andrew Garfield played this role like I have never seen him play a role before. And then on top of Spider-Man and everyone finally realizing how much of a great actor he is, I was just like, this is what he needs. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
No, like if I were a voting member of the Academy, Andrew would have gotten my vote 100%.
Yeah,
just
I agree.
Emotionally, what he did, also learning to sing, and I know he didn't play piano for himself, but he learned it enough that he could fake it adequately and pull it off. It was amazing. And yeah, but Will Smith, I won't be sad if and when he wins. So yeah. All right. Actress.
I feel like you're like judging. It's just like has like eyes, just like really, like really.
So actress in a leading role. For whatever reason, the girl from Coda's not here, nor is Rachel Zegler, and both of those upset me very much. Not to say they should have won, but they should have been nominated, at least over like 3 of these people. The people who were nominated, we have Jessica Chastain for Eyes of Tammy Faye, who is my personal pick. Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter, Penelope Cruz in Parallels Mothers, Nicole Kidman in Being the Ricardos, and Kristen Stewart in Spencer. Jeanette, who do you want to give this Oscar to?
Great googly moogly. The only movie on this list is one of the movies I wish I had not seen that I've actually seen. Like, I have not seen 4 of these movies, and boy, I wish I had. I'm gonna go. I'm between Jessica Chastain and Kristen Stewart. I'm not inclined to give it to Kristen Stewart, but I hear she's done a good job. I'll go with Jessica Chastain, who I'm also not typically a huge fan of, but I have a feeling she does this justice.
I really enjoyed her performance in this. Yeah. Okay. Lisa, who are you going for?
I'm gonna go for Kristen Stewart because I love her interpretation of Diana. It was amazing. The improv scenes that she did with her child actor kids were so touching and warm. And I think Jessica Chastain's only good film has been that like X-Men movie where she played an alien. So I don't really like Sorry. Kristen Stewart all the way.
Did you see Coriolanus?
Yeah.
She was good in that.
Tree of Life?
Was she?
Well, Tree of Life had dinosaurs. That made me angry. They didn't do anything. Okay, yeah.
It made you angry because of the dinosaurs.
Because if you're gonna put dinosaurs into a movie, it needs to have a reason. It needs to like give me dinosaur action. That's the big thing. There was no dinosaur action, or give me something that is somehow relevant to the plot, like the dinosaurs in Fantasia. That was cool. That was an entire thing about like life and death, and maybe that's what Tree of Life was going for, but it was so convoluted I couldn't tell you. Anyway, this was a rant I went on a lot like 10 years ago. Lauren, who do you want to see win?
You know, I agree with you that I liked Being the Ricardos ultimately, but I just don't think that Nicole Kidman should have been nominated at all. Like I
maybe Jessica Chastain could have done that role. Actually, I think anybody else. I would have taken a Penelope Cruz Lucille Ball.
I would have Lucille Ball.
Penelope Cruz Lucille Ball. Oh, it would be so unconventional, but probably amazing.
Nicole Kidman won the Golden Globe for it, and I'm like so.
I love how you said it.
Like who was like, yes, this is amazing.
Amazing.
She kind of played Lucille Ball like a femme fatale or something. Like she was very like serious and kind of
very film noir.
It was weird. I was like,
it was
she
weird.
played her very menopausal is how I felt. She played her.
Just such injustice to the poor greats of Lucille. Oh my god. Anyway.
So yeah, Lauren, sorry, who was your pick?
I'm gonna go with Jessica Chastain as well. I haven't seen the movie, but I think that it's her time as well.
Yeah, like I'd be happy to see her win. And out of these aren't the people I would have picked, but I probably would have voted for Rachel if I was on the Academy, but it is what it is. Ben, who do you want to give this Oscar to?
Here we go.
Okay.
This is when I'm going to get spicy, Matt. I'm excited to get a little spicy.
Get Melange.
So, here we go. So this is an exciting category because I think Kristen Stewart had a really, really good shot as the front runner for a long time. Like it was like, oh, she's a lock. And then I don't know if it's because she's not campaigning as hard, but I'm not hearing people talk about her performance as much as I would have expected this late into the game. And more people are starting to talk about Jessica Chastain, who I think I think does a great job in the movie. I think people have an issue with her performance if they are not clued into like who Tammy Faye was. Like they just see it as very like over the top and hammy, and you have all the prosthetics and everything and the makeup, but it's all ingrained in who that person was, and I think she does it justice. But I feel like every year there's one kind of like upset, like what kind of call that the Oscars makes with one of these acting categories. Like I remember when Glenn Close was like a lock for the wife, and then Olivia Colman won for the favorite, and it was kind of like, whoa.
Even Olivia Colman was surprised.
She was like, what? And then last year, they structured the Oscars to do Best Picture before actor because they expected Chadwick Boseman to win. And then Anthony Hopkins won for The Father, and he was like asleep in London.
He wasn't there, yeah.
He wasn't even there. And then it ended with such bad vibes because it was like, oh, I guess he won. Good night, everybody. And that was it. But the point being is that there's always something that's like, what? Like, this is nuts. And so with that in mind, Matt, I'm going to say Penelope Cruz in Parallel Mothers, because she's fantastic in that movie. She's great in the movie, and
she's never won. I don't think.
I don't think she's won. It's a Sony Pictures Classics movie, which Anna pointed out to me. The Father was also one of those, so I think that they're probably really pushing her. I think the people who went to see it, who like Almodovar's movies, I think that they've worked together for a long time. I think this might be one of her strongest performances in one of his films. It's really nuanced and it's layered, and I think it could happen. I don't know that it's 100% going to, but I'm gonna do it. I'm just feeling a little like I want to take a risk. I think that Chastain has a good shot, but I'm gonna go with I'm going with Penelope Cruz.
You're making me want to see this
Parallel Mothers.
I would not
Parallel Madres. Let's go.
What was it about? What's Parallel Mothers?
What is it?
I don't want to spoil too much of it, but there's literally two mothers that have babies at the same time.
They stand like this.
They stand parallel. So Penelope is one mother, and then there's a younger mother, and they share like a hospital room. They both are raising their children, and then you kind of find out that things are not what they seem to be, and there's a real kind of emotional hurdle thrown at Penelope Cruz as you kind of find out what's happening. And it's also kind of about history as well, and familial history and what it means to come from somewhere. So it's a really great movie, and I'm glad that they gave her a nomination, and I want to see it happen. So I'm going to say Penelope.
All right. You have kind of sold me, and now I want Penelope, but I wrote it down. I'm Team Chastain. It's there. All right. And Morgan, who are you picking?
So, other than one person, I don't know any of these people outside of seeing them on tabloids growing up.
There.
I'll just go with Kristen Stewart because I remember her in Twilight.
Nice.
Even though I don't think I want her to win an award and not awkwardly kiss someone on stage. That's what I want.
Well, she might still if she wins. We'll find out. Another Team Penelope. Woo.
Who would have ever thought that Twilight would be the reason that someone would vote for someone in the Oscars?
That's hilarious. Yeah. It's making
she won. Her and I called him Edward. Her and Robert Pattinson won Best Kiss, and they were forced to kiss at the MTV Choice Awards.
Oh, that's so gross.
It was the most awkward.
She hadn't come out yet, and now we all know why. It was really awkward.
Dating though at that time.
Yeah,
slightly less gross. But
yeah,
still.
but they were tried to recreate their kiss in the scene, and it
I would love if that went to Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst for Spider-Man, then they accepted and they were like, recreate it now. And then he would have to do like a handstand. They did that at one of the
MTV Awards, but maybe it wasn't them, it was like other people doing it.
That'd be fun.
I think they did win Best Kiss.
Did they?
Yeah, category. But...
Such a stupid category, but
the Oscars should introduce best. They should have Best Kiss at the Oscars.
Yep.
Hollywood's biggest night.
No. We're all adults here, Ben. It's best love scene, okay?
Yeah,
Best
Yes.
love scene.
Yes, yes.
Okay, down to the wire. We have two more: directing and best picture. Let's go with directing. Our options are, and weirdly enough, my list I'm realizing doesn't give me the names of the directors, just the movies.
No.
So,
Really?
I know, which makes no sense. But
I can read it.
Belfast.
I can read that Belfast is Kenneth
Wait.
Branagh.
Okay.
Oh, Drive My Car
Right.
is Ryosuke Hamaguchi.
Okay.
Licorice Pizza is Paul Thomas Anderson. Power of the Dog is Jane Campion. And West Side Story is Steven Spielberg.
Cool. I voted Steven. I don't think he'll win, but I want him to because I think it's deserved for all the reasons I've raved about loving West Side Story. But I think Jane will probably win, but I voted with my heart. Lauren, who's your pick?
I am voting for Steven Spielberg. I think that he elevated West Side Story in a way that is like him. And I think that he did a fantastic job. So I'm going for Steven Spielberg.
Nice. Lisa, who do you want to see win?
I want to see Steven Spielberg win, but I know he's not going to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Power of the Dog for my vote. But I heard somebody in the comments earlier tonight say that like she said something controversial.
Oh yeah.
And like that's gonna make her not win. So,
But she said it, I'm pretty sure the votes had been cast
yeah.
before she said it, so I don't think that's going to actually affect anything.
What did she say?
She looked at Venus and Serena Williams and said, I love you, but you guys don't have to play against the boys in your careers like I've had to.
Yeah.
Oh, I did
You
hear
don't
about
have to
that.
play against the men.
Yeah.
You don't have
That's
to play against the
awful.
men. And then she was like, whoops. And that was like right after the Sam Elliott thing that we all talked about on the Power of the Dog episode. And she was in such good graces with people. Like people were just like, she had a great response to him because she was just basically like, he's being a little bit of a bitch. Like he's being a bit of a baby. That was what she said. And it was like, yeah, like give it up for Jane. And then the next day it was like, oh, Jane.
Jane.
Look at Ben's bringing all the accents tonight.
She
I
He's
can't
a
help it.
a good Kiwi.
Well, Ben, with that said, who's your pick? Who do you want to see win director?
Oh god, I would look. They all did a good job.
Yeah,
it would be great to see Hamaguchi. I think that would be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that Jane Campion is as much of a lock as anybody. I just think that I think the Academy loves her. I think is she the only woman ever nominated more than once for an Oscar for a Best Director?
Yeah,
that's pretty. That's insane. But either way, I think that it's
more about whatever.
Yeah, I think that she has a very, very good chance of winning. But I will say that I got to give a shout out to Steven Spielberg because he directed the heck out of West Side Story. Like, it was like, I don't think he'd ever done like a proper musical before, and he was ready. Like, he just knew exactly how to bring that to life. So, I'd be happy to see him win. But I think it's probably going to be Jane Campion.
Yeah, no, I think it is as well. Morgan, who's your pick?
Spielberg.
Nice.
I feel like you can't go wrong with voting on him.
Nope.
I think if he lost, would this be his first loss for director?
No, he's lost before.
He's kind of like a Meryl Streep. I think he's nominated a lot.
He lost for Super 8. He lost for something else too. I thought he lost.
He didn't do Super 8, did he? Wasn't that Abrams? J.J. Abrams?
Yeah, that was Abrams.
What am I thinking of? It was something that came out around the same time with a very similar feel. Then
I know. I do.
Maybe that. I don't know. Maybe it was. I just remember. I thought that was it, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh, probably Lincoln. He might have been nominated for Lincoln. I'm not sure.
He lost for The Post, Bridges of Spies, Lincoln, War Horse, Letters.
War Horse.
Like so many. He's lost many. He lost for E.T. too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew there was a famous one he lost for.
He's only won 4 times. And one was a Memorial Award, and then 2 were Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said Memorial Award, I thought you said Memoriam, and I was like, well,
oh no.
He's very much not dead. So
like how did he win? Oh my God.
I don't know. I feel like it's really gutsy to take on a musical that's so well known and put a bunch of people that have never been on screen before in it, and direct them in a way that they can succeed. I mean, the guy that played Tony didn't really do very well, but you know, you can only try so much. But and then that rape scene, like, I think it takes, you gotta really trust your director in order to do something like that, and I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, like I would love to see him win for this, but I do. We'll see. Maybe it'll probably be Jane. Jeanette, what do you think?
I'm gonna go Paul Thomas Anderson. I watched Licorice Pizza today, and without jumping ahead, it was one of the most fun movies I had watched in a long time, and it was emotional and heartfelt, and it was just, everything worked out. It's a very brass tacks film, but that's when I think directing plays a huge role, right? So
fun.
Paul Thomas
Well,
Anderson.
with that, let's segue to Best Picture. Our options here: we have Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. I'm voting strategically because I'm almost positive it's going to be Power of the Dog, but I think we all know my heart wants West Side Story. But I went for Power of the Dog because kind of the Lisa strategy, it's won all the things, and statistics don't lie. So I don't agree, but this is why I have to get on to the Academy so I can vote. So there it is. Lauren, what do you want to see win Best Picture?
Why do you hate West Side Story? Just kidding. I'm just gonna go with my heart. I'm gonna go with West Side Story. I just love. I mean, I genuinely love that film. Coda comes very close, though.
Yeah.
Having seen it, and it's a very different film. You know, like totally.
Worth is voting Coda.
But West Side Story.
Nice. Lisa, what do you want to see win Best Picture?
I'm gonna go with strategy here. Power of the Dog. Yeah. I want West Side Story to win.
Yeah, but I think we're outnumbered by the people who get the votes. And Jeanette, I feel like you implied it. Are you going for Licorice Pizza?
Last duel.
Yes. The last duel rules. Yeah.
That's what's gonna win Best Picture. Not even that.
Warren Beatty's gonna be like, actually, the card says this, and then it's gonna be.
They're gonna go. I'm sorry, somebody let Nightmare Alley on this list, and it was really supposed to be.
Yeah, get Warren Beatty to announce this.
Yeah. Can the people who announced Moonlight.
Let him try again.
Given my choices here, I've had a hard time deciding between Don't Look Up and Licorice Pizza. Obviously, going into today, before I started Licorice Pizza, I thought I was going to say Don't Look Up because that's where my heart was lying. But I think Licorice Pizza might have a little less pop culture-ness to it, less like just in your face. And I think it's a more genuinely good movie. So I'm going to go with Licorice Pizza. I know Power of the Dog's going to win. It's the whatever. But like, I'm going to go with Licorice Pizza.
Good call. All right. Morgan.
I have two feelings. I want to like see what Ben said about like there always being like a what moment.
Upset, yeah.
I feel like it's going to come in Best Picture. That's when I feel like it's going to come. And I think if it does come, it's going to go to King Richard.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Again, not having seen the movie, but.
And if it's Drive My Car, we're all going to pee. I mean, we're just going to be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I will be shocked.
Yeah. But I want to go with West Side Story, but just because it's a musical, I don't think. But I'm gonna go with Power of the Dog with strategy.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, but if it happens, you heard it here first.
Oh yeah, for sure. King Richard all the way. Morgan said it.
If Drive My Car wins, I really genuinely want a Japanese Roberto Benigni moment. I want that guy climbing over the seats and like beating people in the head and just screaming on the stage.
And then kissing Halle Berry.
You're gonna have to film that for us, but if it
Like
wins.
part of me feels like your movie can't win if your two leading actors aren't nominated at all.
I don't know.
What?
I feel like it has happened. I can't
It
say
does
when.
happen, but it's not as likely. Yeah,
Right.
it does happen though, for sure.
Especially with one of them being completely like pretty much unknown. Like I feel like it's fine.
Like I think I don't think Michael Shannon won the year that Shape of Water won.
No, he didn't.
Right.
No.
But wasn't he nominated?
He was, I think.
Yeah,
think
West
so.
Side Story's two leading roles aren't even.
They're not even
Oh, yeah,
nominated.
you're right.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
Not
Yeah.
only are
Michael
they not going to
Shannon
win,
watched
they're
those
not.
Oscars at a bar too. There's a whole article about it. Look up Michael Shannon Oscars bar, and you'll see
Oh,
the year that he
yeah,
was
yeah.
nominated. He went to a bar and ate peanuts and watched the Oscars.
I remember reading that. I love
Oh.
him.
And it's pointing out none of the actors for Parasite were nominated.
Oh.
I remember noticing that year. Yeah.
Ben, what's your pick for Best Picture?
Oh boy. So I think it's an interesting year because you brought up, I think it was 2000, the movies of 2009 for the 2010 ceremony, Matt, which was the year that they expanded from the 5 maximum up to 10. And I could be wrong, but I think this is the first year since they've done that, including 2009, that they there's 10 nominations. Usually there's 9. And this year they're like, we got to throw in Nightmare Alley for some reason. So they're doing 10 out of 10. We have a lot to choose from here. My personal favorite of these nominees is probably Licorice Pizza. I agree with Jeanette. I wish Jeanette, by the way, had said West Side Story, because then I could have said, when you're Jeanette all the way. That would have been perfect.
It would have
Alas.
been perfect. But we got the moment anyway. I'm glad you did that.
But I'm in the bag for Paul Thomas Anderson. I think he makes great movie after great movie, and I would say Licorice Pizza is maybe in like the middle of my favorites from him, but is still one of the best of the year, and it's just very genuine. It's a beautiful movie. It's very funny. There's a lot of tension. It's great. And Alana Haim is great in it as well. And Philip Seymour Hoffman's son Cooper is in the movie.
I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah, and there's something really moving to me about Paul Thomas Anderson working with Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, because PTA and Philip Seymour Hoffman were inseparable and worked together a lot. So I think it's kind of a beautiful thing. I don't think we're going to see it win, though. So there's a part of me that's saying, they're going to give, I think they're going to give Best Director potentially to Jane Campion and then follow it up with Power of the Dog. I think the Power of the Dog, as you're all saying, has a fantastic shot, and it's kind of what I want to circle, but I'm once again going to get a little spicy. I think this is going to make Matt very happy. There's a movie that won the SAG Best Ensemble, and there's a movie that won the PGA Awards just recently, and it's shoehorned it to the front of the conversation, and it's Coda.
Yeah.
I think that Coda is right now, if I don't know when the voting happens, but if there's a lot of momentum right now for Coda, and when we think about Best Picture, a lot of the times it's like, well, what movie is going to be kind of the best sort of encapsulation of the year in terms of either what reflects the year or what is it that we wanted to see. And I do think that, it's a very controversial choice, but it was also a very safe choice in that when Green Book won, that was a very feel-good movie. I think Coda is a much stronger movie than Green Book is, but they're operating in a very similar, like, kind of pull on the heartstrings, very crowd-pleasing, very feel-good movie. And I think that there is a real potential for it to win Best Picture. So
that would make my.
I think it could happen.
I would cry so much.
And I think the PGA win for it is a big like thing that makes me go, because Power of the Dog, I think, is very respected, but I don't know if it's as beloved. And so we'll have to see what happens. I think it's going to be between those two. Could be an upset. It could be, you could get something way out of left field, but imagine if it was Best Picture Nightmare Alley after all this discussion.
Oh my God.
It would be kind of incredible. We'd be like, wow, what happened?
Well, you notice that Del Toro, I don't know other than other than Hellboy, which isn't an Oscar type movie anyway, I
Mhm.
don't know that he's ever not been nominated for director for like a major
Right.
film that he's
Yeah.
done.
I mean, since
And
Pan's Labyrinth, he's mostly
Yeah.
really been, and that one was so weird in that it just didn't feel like it had his spark in it. I feel like, even though, and no one saw it. It's an odd thing where that movie kind of came and went, but,
Yeah.
and Coda was a movie that, it played at Sundance at the beginning of the year. It premiered through Apple. It would be the first streaming movie, I think, to win Best Picture. And I do think that, here's the thing. So if the discussions between Coda and Power of the Dog, they're both streaming movies where Power of the Dog is Netflix and Coda is Apple. And I hate to say it, but I think that there could be a kernel of truth to this. The year that Green Book won was also the year that Roma was nominated, and Roma won Best Director. And I believe, and I think that did Roma win Best Director? Now I'm not sure I actually got that right, but I think that it was definitely like in kind of the front runner, of the Best Picture race. And I think there was a reticence of the Academy giving the Best Picture movie to Netflix specifically, because Netflix was the company that kind of changed and shifted the Oscars to not just be about like the movie going, we're nominating these movies from the big studios. Now the big studios are competing majorly with these tech companies like Netflix and Apple and Amazon and everything. So I think that Academy voters have a little bit less animosity for Apple than they do Netflix. As weird as that is to say.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Not that should justify like why they're voting for Best Picture. Like, I don't think this is a good reason to ever vote for what you think the Best Picture is, but I
it's
think
definitely
that
a thing.
I think there's a thing, and I think between those things where you're going, Power of the Dog, very, serious-minded, very well-crafted. Coda, it made me feel so good. It was so sweet. And, I feel like you could see kind of them weighing maybe between those two, and that's why I'm going to give the edge to Coda. But anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Anything can happen.
I can't wait for Sunday. Also,
woo!
Mary's hungry thinking about my sandwich, as am I. So as much as I hate to cut this short, I have to go get my sandwich. So this was amazing. I'm sorry we didn't get to the game, but this kind of whole thing is a game. So we're going to see who the ultimate winner is. And the game
when we
wasn't
see the
actually that fun. But hooray. Oh, this was so much fun. I love chatting with all of you. I'm so glad you were all able to join us today to discuss the Oscars. I can't wait to reconnect and just hear everyone's thoughts. I'm probably going to live tweet, so follow that when it happens.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I encourage all of us
follow
to
you,
live
Matt.
tweet. It'll be great. I think I'm Teacup for one. I can't remember. It's either
I haven't used mine in so long.
I know, me neither.
It's there somewhere. But I can't wait. So Sunday, we'll all be there. It'll be fantastic. And hopefully I can see all of you come back for a future movie marathon. Next up is Peter Pan. That'll be fun. And then we'll see what happens after that. Who knows? But for now, I'm going to highlight each of you, tell our lovely 10 viewers where they can find you, and let them know if you have anything coming up that they should know about and where they can see it and appreciate it. Here we go. Jeanette.
It's me. So you can find me at TinkerJ787 on Instagram. It's mostly going to be Disney stuff that I cover. We have an annual pass, so we're down there a lot. But I do have a Marvel Monday post that I do every week. And so that's something to look forward to on my page right now.
Amazing. Thank you, Jeanette. Always a pleasure. Lauren.
Hello. So you can find me on YouTube at Castles, Capes, and Clones if you do search for that. I'm also on Instagram at Castles, Capes, and Clones, all one word. And like I said, we do a whole bunch of talking about Disney and a whole bunch of different things. Every Friday, I do a look at the films of Walt Disney Animation Studios. So this week will be Alice, I believe. Yes, Alice in Wonderland. So come check that out on Friday.
Amazing. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Lisa.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me back on, Matt. You can find me on Instagram at Lisa_A_Alves. That's where you can find all of my cute hamster photos, which you could also follow my hamster accounts, as well as my family dogs account at Zoe_Rory. And feel free to follow my theater account. It's at Cahoots Theater. We are a theater based in Toronto, and we are a home for artists from the edge. So we program new Canadian plays.
I love that. Thank you, Lisa. All right, Morgan.
Hi, so I'm Morgan. I'm from Teaching Disney on YouTube. I have pin content, haul content, unboxing, and Disney vlogs since I live down in Orlando. Every Wednesday, I have a pin Wednesday video. So I just had one released today where I completed my 50th set.
Congratulations.
Completed, yes. It was very expensive, but I completed it. And then on Saturdays, I do a haul Saturday, still continuing that. And then coming up, well, every third Wednesday of the month, I will have a teaching discussion live stream where we discuss a topic in the teaching realm. And the first one is stories. So stay tuned for that in April.
Can't wait. Thank you, Morgan. Ben.
Hey, I'm Ben Gordon. You can follow me at It's Ben Gordon, one word, at Instagram and Twitter. I have a YouTube channel, just Ben Gordon, but I don't keep it regular. It's not like a real YouTube channel. It's just where I throw, Matt, I used to do like videos about the Toronto Film Festival. I got some fun stuff up there from the past few years. And what else? Yeah, follow me on Instagram for pictures of Abby, my dilute calico cat. She likes to play fetch, and she's great. She's 8 years old, so that's my. I got nothing going on.
Well, you've got just being Ben.
Just
we love me. You for that. Brilliant. Thank you, Ben. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Until next time. And of course, if you're watching this is my channel. Please subscribe. If you watched this entire thing and you enjoyed this content, I'm in most of my videos, and the lovely people that you saw tonight make appearances pretty regularly. So subscribe for me, subscribe for them, subscribe for all of us. Please just subscribe and buy a t-shirt from me if you're so inclined. But anyway, thank you for joining us tonight for another Teacup for One live stream. Always a pleasure. Join us in April when we do Peter Pan month. Cannot wait for that. And until then, friends, my name is Matt and I have 2 degrees. This has been the Teacup for One. I'm going to go get my sandwich. How do I end this?